Good evening now from the best nation in the world, and I'm joined by Voltaire 325 for the first time in a few weeks now.
Hi and hello, everybody.
Thank you for interrupting me there, and I appreciate you being on nonetheless. So, hope everything's all right in your world, and if it isn't, I'll try and solve that problem. But I just wanted to highlight some news that I just got when I logged onto Facebook, just to see if anyone had written to me saying I really want to do a video.
You know your camera's not on, right? Is that on purpose?
Oh, all right, yeah, sorry, yeah.
That's some kind of passive aggressive.
It was, yeah. I had a T-shirt over the top of my camera, so which was entirely deliberate on my part. So thank you for highlighting what I knew I was doing. So as you can see, it's now got my head just at the bottom. So I'll adjust that in a minute. But I think what I'm telling you right now is more important than any of that.
Okay.
I will present my Facebook screen. Hopefully at this point, Mandela Man won't suddenly message me telling me about how he's being chased by robots or something, sex robots. But hopefully that won't happen. It has already happened.
That's my understanding.
So yeah, as you can see on the screen, I think a post from Scott Ryan 2 hours ago, my hashtag moonlighting book has hit number 12 with the Hulu streaming of the series. I'm so excited that people are discovering the series and being interested in how they made the most creative show ever.
It's funny that you mentioned this. I was listening to another podcast, and they were excited that Moonlighting was finally available for streaming.
Well, yeah, I know. It's like, what is going on that people are scared? That people are excited of. Yeah, I mean, I'm scared more of it rather than the prospect of sitting down and watching a whole season of Moonlighting for me would be staggering, I would say.
Do you have any idea how many seasons there were?
No.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Probably, I don't know, like 4 or 5, maybe 4.
Yeah, that's it. I would be surprised if it was more than 4.
Back in those days, I mean, that's still quite an achievement, though, I think. Whereas
really
now, you get shows that are probably not even that great that just sort of seem to.
Yeah, no, 5 seasons.
5 seasons. It's 3 more seasons than Twin Peaks had. So, I mean, that's an 80s show, though, so it's like it. Was very much part of that whole scene, I suppose, and I don't think shows generally had massively long runs then.
No.
Particularly hour-long ones. Well,
yeah, but 5 seasons, yeah, that's a huge deal. And this is what put Bruce Willis's career into the stratosphere.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge deal if your book is called Moonlighting, an Oral History. So,
why would he say that?
Why would we call it an oral history?
Yeah, I mean, is it only available as an audiobook?
I don't know, honestly. Sometimes with Scott Ryan, I'm like somewhat baffled, obviously. Like,
it's an oral history, if you know what I mean.
The Lost Highway book, like, The Fist of Love is a bit much for me, but
he likes these innuendos, I suppose.
I think a bit there is an innuendo in there, but I think, he's basically stating it's coming from a bunch of people talking about moonlighting, but as opposed to what? I mean, you're not going to provide links to videos of people talking about moonlighting in a book, are you? Because a book is like an alternative of a video. Like a lot of people, I was reading earlier how people were saying, they don't necessarily like watching videos of people talking, for instance, depending on the character. Like they're actually referring to Russell Brand's videos, and that's a whole other discussion. But
several million people do like that,
Well, the thing is, he's got 7-8 million subscribers, but his last video, for instance, got about, I don't know, 800 900,000 views. So where are the other, 7+ million subscribers? That's a question.
Hey, what are you saying? He used some kind of Indian bot to buy them? Have you ever been approached by an Indian gentleman on Facebook to buy views or subscribers?
No, about the most exciting it's been as because Joe basically said, yeah, you can just do whatever you want with the Instagram of Bring Back Twin Peaks, which I've renamed like Twin Peaks Coffee Time. And I thought to myself, okay, if I put maybe a link to one of my videos, it might get some more views. Nothing. Just the way Instagram functions is just a visual tool. So people just look at what it is. If I put a picture of the most famous picture of Dale Cooper, then it probably could get 700 likes or something. But what are you getting out of it unless you make your Instagram into some kind of tool, which I don't know how to do. And yeah, it's got like 16,000 followers. What I've called Twin Peaks Coffee Time on Instagram. So, and I rarely post on there apart from when Scott Ryan's got a book out. So it's like, okay, Scott's got The Fist of Love coming out, put an advert for that up. Out of 16,000 subscribers. Well, no, it's actually something more like 14.6 thousand. And because it just kept going down as soon as I took over the thing. People only liked it because it was called like Bring Back Twin Peaks. That's it. And because of the nature of the post. So, but you could call me cynical, but I think with Russell Brand, yes, it's every likelihood some of those followers that he had on YouTube or on where he's gone to Bumble could be fake. It's not impossible.
Bumble? He's gone to a dating site?
No, he's gone to some alternative to YouTube.
Oh, Rumble. Okay,
Rumble.
You said Bumble, which is a dating site here in America. I don't know if it's a dating
Well,
site.
he may have gone to there as well.
Yeah.
Despite being a married man now with 2 children, he's decided, well, they brought all these charges against me and stuff. Like people were saying, I did these various things, which I won't mention. I may as well just start it again, but do it on Bumble.
Yeah. Where the ladies get to approach first.
Is that what it's all about?
Yeah, men can't contact women. Women must first contact them. So it's less aggressive for the ladies.
Yes, it's basically the women messaging people with hi. That's it.
Or just, it's actually, it's even less than that. I think
or a thumbs up. Occasionally, maybe a kiss.
Basically, just now you can message me. I've allowed you to message me. I've seen your profile.
Yeah, and at that point, then the majority of responses they ignore. So
I would imagine.
Not when they see my picture on there. They immediately reply saying, "Why did you choose this picture? You look like a complete idiot." But that, to me, that is success.
I think so. It's a form of
anyway.
success.
Yeah, let's move on now from. Cameron pointed out to me, for instance, if people think that I'm sort of like some kind of seasoned professional doing these videos, recently he said they're trying to get you to say something because there was a character came into the chat called Nick Gurr, and I was like actually reading the name out and everything. And
well, is that right? You fell for that?
Yeah, well, I was probably, I don't know when that was like, when I was not quite, I was tired or something a bit, I know like for a couple of weeks I had like this kind of virus of some sort. Then I questioned whether it was actually a form of COVID, but then, I took a test and it said negative, but then my dad said actually to me that test might not actually work on it anyway.
All right. Well,
so at which point, no, I actually spray painted, on the back of the church here, I spray painted The Fist of Love after that.
I think that's appropriate.
I just felt a lot of like rebellion in me and teenage angst. So.
And how's Cameron doing?
Well, he's been. I mean, he does carry on posting videos.
Oh, does he? I don't know why
But he
he
doesn't.
hasn't pumped. I haven't gotten the alerts.
He doesn't often. I mean, he doesn't do them live. That's just his preference, obviously. But I mean, I think if you do them live, you're probably going to get more views, especially for someone like him who's got more subscribers. But I mean, he did a few videos lately, which are him going to Occidental Studios, where the original Twin Peaks was filmed.
Ah.
And also, where we see the giant or the fireman in The Return, that location, but it's now an Apple store. So yeah, those interiors, and I mean, he kept in the video, in the pictures and stuff, he kept doing like references to The Return and everything, like going into the Apple store, and he kept saying, "I'm feeling better now." When he saw that there was some female walking away from him and stuff.
I see.
So
if he saw a heavy-set blonde woman, I imagine that would have really thrown him for a loop.
Well, Krista Bell has only just posted after 1 year, and
oh my God, what a post she did too!
And I thought she was looking possibly well for it, having a year off. I think she may have put on a little bit of weight, but only in the right place.
How dare you!
But I say that as a positive to me, because I don't like women who are skeletal. It's just not crazy. Something that I admire.
Yeah, you're silly like that.
No, but I mean, look at me. I'm like, imagine if I was next to a very anorexic woman, like a head could come off or something.
So. No, I think that I think it would be okay. Here, put my screen up for a moment. People need, in case people haven't seen it.
Yeah,
these are stunning pictures. Here she is.
I'm gonna take all that. Dan, I agree with you about Justine Lee Collins. Yeah.
So you see here, it's some sort of a seaside type of situation, wearing corduroy pants.
I would call it seaside, like Morecambe or something.
And here this lady. Oh, this is Madonna on the Rocks. It's the Birth of Venus. Absolutely stunning. This fella just has alabaster. Well,
I know. I saw that, I think I actually liked that. Because,
is that you who liked it? You laughed
because of Vin saying about Josh having alabaster skin at one point.
And she's wearing corduroy pants. It looks like which is an interesting choice, but I don't judge her. It's a very nice.
It's more just practical, especially if you're out walking around the coast with your paps out.
Yeah, it's probably windy. And look at this very nice apple bottom hourglass figure. She's always maintained that. And then this is the real one. Look at this. I mean, look at this, like this. Now, this is a very planned shot.
When you say look at this, what do you mean?
I mean, this here, right beneath her right armpit. As you can see, I'm circling it with the mouth.
So what is that exactly?
This would be backside boob. Very rare. Now, you've seen side boob.
No, but I don't immediately get like really aroused by seeing that. I mean,
well,
I don't think that's the intention.
I mean, I think you should go see your urologist if that's the case.
No, but I don't think she's looking backwards or to the side or whatever, sort of thinking, hey, what do you reckon to this? Are you getting a bit,
Yeah, I do.
Into it.
She posed many times for this shot and came up with this one. And this is just the right amount of back and side boob here.
I think every photo that was taken, we are seeing. There's no...
Yeah, several.
There's no massive sort of... No. It's literally... There's probably 3 photos taken, that's it.
All right. Okay, if you say so.
I don't think there's any real preponderance or sort of like planning for this where, an art director writes like, well, let's get it from this side, let's get it from that angle. Because she's using entirely natural lighting there.
Very nice. And as you can see here, everybody, I have the top fan moniker, which I
don't even understand how that even happened.
And I give her an oh my. And Davrin laughed at that comment for some reason. When it's a very serious comment. I don't know why he would find that funny. If anything, he should have hearted it or thumbs up it.
Probably trying to get back into this chat somehow so he can make bad comments about Cameron, which I don't want at this point.
Then Erwin Troost came up. Was it Erwin Troost who said the alabaster comment? No, it wasn't. He says she's a grown-up mermaid, which is an interesting comment, reducing her to a mythical animal type figure. I don't like that. You know,
what would you want her typified as more?
I don't like that.
Tammy Preston?
I don't know. I don't see anything fish-like here in any show. There you can see she has some visible panty lines.
It's pretty obvious that somebody could get mermaid out of this, but
yeah, I mean her legs are very apparent, right? So I don't agree with it. But you see here,
being a bit over literal. Like,
can you see my cursor or no? You're seeing that, right?
Yeah, of course I can. You're saying that you can see her like she's wearing underwear.
This is called VPL, visible.
For me, that has ruined the whole thing. Actually, I don't want to see visible panty line.
VPL, I find it attractive. Now we know that what type of panty she wears. She wears this sort of thing.
Men's Y fronts, I think.
No, these are very attractive on her. I think it suits her. So good picture here. I approve of that one. And then here she is a little more back and side boob, much more subtle this time.
Where is the wall? That's what confuses me with this one.
Oh, the wall is off to the right, I presume.
She's not near the wall anymore. So
no, that's true. But I need to give this a look.
I did think her being next to the wall was a possible reference to Roger Waters' stage show of The Wall, i.e., not the Pink Floyd version.
Yeah, I mean, some people nowadays, they don't even like Roger Waters' music, but they like his politics, and so this is a problem.
Well, I think Christabel is very strongly aligned with Roger Waters.
I don't think that's true.
Anyway, I interpret it my own way, you interpret it. Let's just be open-minded here. And I just wanted to respond to Justin Lee Collins taking credit for bringing back Twin Peaks to Dan Peake. I don't think he actually did a show on Twin Peaks, whereas he did do one with A-Team and Dallas, and the bringing back of those. I don't know where people got this whole bringing back thing from, but his show probably helped. But he's another disgraced celebrity from the UK, albeit not as well known as Russell Brand. But he was pretty well known. Another Channel 4 sort of acolyte, though. He was, in trouble for similar reasons, but not to the extent of Russell Brand, though. So, Gloria Stitz, anyway, is a regular now in the chat and asks, "What are your thoughts about more Queen of Hearts?"
Gloria Stitz.
Well, is that what it means?
I don't know. Gloria Stitz.
I didn't even pick up on that. I have some kind of problem where I can't understand words. Basically.
Well, you take people. You know what? You're a very trusting person, and you trust your viewers that. This is just a young lady named Gloria, and her surname is Stitz.
And I actually was watching the start of the film Champions with Woody Harrelson and last night because it became available and free. And I thought, well, I'll give it a go. And some of the characters in that room, made me think of myself. They are, they're all like educationally or learning disabled. So.
Okay.
Have you heard of that film?
I'm not familiar. Oh, is that is it Woody Harrelson coaching a bunch of special needs kids? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I presumed it was a Farrelly film, but I'm not sure actually.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm not interested. I mean, I'm sure it's a nice story and very heartwarming.
But you didn't. You says I don't like it particularly because I don't want to watch people who think of as below you.
No, that's not true. That's been done. I mean, it's just not that interesting anymore,
When has it been done? It's by Bobby Farrelly.
Johnny Knoxville did a version of it, right?
Yeah, but this is more. It's more realistic in terms of its portrayal of things. But it does seem almost like the Farrellys are kind of going, sorry for how kind of we made those films in the past. This is us being more.
Is that a Farrelly Brothers film?
Well, it's directed by Bobby Farrelly, so it's not both.
Okay, so he might be the one. He's either has a special needs brother or family member, and he's actually very active in that community. So he's not mocking anybody. He's
no, I don't think. I'm only joking. I mean, but yeah. I think that you could like their films in the past. For instance, the depiction of the brother in "There's Something About Mary." You might think like this is a bit broad. You know, it's not exactly wholly sympathetic, whereas this film is a bit more sympathetic, I would say, or a lot more actually, because the disabled people in this are developed characters. You know, so.
No. Sorry, before you go, we have to give Christabel. She's been gone for 3 years, and she posted. We can't just leave it at that, okay? So here's her message.
Gone for 3 years,
or whatever, a year.
Not like 3 years for you. So.
Well, it feels that way, yes. But she was posting every day, pretty much. You'll acknowledge that. And then she went
not every day, but a lot,
significantly. Every other day, several times a week, which I think that's fair. And she responds, "Darling, I haven't forgotten. Always thinking of you and the best way to be a part of your life. Let's dream together." All right. And, it's a triumphant return. And it's very nice. If anybody questioned, these look like natural breasts from this hang here. So, I mean, let's credit the woman. She's back.
I don't think at any point anybody ever started saying that Christabel had fake boobs.
Well, I hope not. And if anybody did, I hope that's been eliminated.
Vanished.
Yeah. I noticed you didn't comment here. You liked it, but you had no comment. As a esteemed member of the community, people are like,
no, I liked the alabaster comment, I think.
Yeah, but you didn't make a comment.
Well, I didn't really know. I shared the post.
Okay, well, that's something.
In coffee time and stuff. I don't really know what to say about it.
You don't think that she's logging in and reading these comments and likes to see them?
Yeah, but it didn't. To be honest, this photo, it just didn't really.
Look at this Ricky Espinosa fella. Next time you're at Justine's Brasserie in ATX, my tree, wink wink, as he's offered to pay for a meal for her. I'm sure she might be interested in that.
Oh, I thought you meant like a brasserie, as in a place that sells bras. But
oh, interesting. Is that what that is? What's ATX? I don't know what ATX is even.
An airport.
Maybe something Texas. If anybody in the chat knows where.
No, brasserie means brewery.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that
in French.
Okay. Oh, he's gonna buy her a brassiere? Oh, that's lewd. That's a lewd comment. I mean,
I don't think he means that.
What does it mean then? My treat at this brasserie.
He's gonna buy them some food.
And then look at this fella. OMG, turn
ATX
around.
is an airport in Texas.
So he's offering to meet her at an airport in Texas at a bra shop. I have to look this up. A bra shop in the Texas.
What's the problem with that? That sounds like
Austin,
really
Texas airport.
That's like classic.
I mean,
I bet she's like thinking, I will actually do that now.
Okay, no, Justine's Brasserie is a nightclub of some sort. It is not a brassiere place.
Okay.
All right. So it's a dinner, whatever. So, she's back, everybody, lest anybody, some people were worried. I, for one, I know you were quite worried. OMG, turn around. That's not funny.
But how is your comment any better than that? Your comment's almost like something like, look at those globes of flesh.
You don't get it. Yeah. You just don't get it. As a top fan, my comment's at the top. And
that's only because it's at the top for you.
It's also the top for her.
For everyone else, it's just probably down somewhere mixed up with the others, I imagine.
Yeah, I think it's for her, though. I have a special place in her heart.
That's nothing to do with her. That's just Facebook's way they remember you as being posting on there a lot. And so I don't think she browses through all of these, so you can get that.
She browses through these.
Stop that illusion.
She's commented, she's responded to my comments in the past and liked them and responded.
With what?
She laughed.
With things like stop leaving these comments.
Never. I warned her about she was in Italy, and I said, watch out for those greasy dudes wearing a lot of Dracar Noir. And she goes, okay, ha ha ha, thanks. She loved it. Okay. So
I don't even know what Dracar Noir is.
Well, I think that's why she laughed, because she understood the reference.
No, I think she didn't.
Then why did she laugh and enjoy the
She's
joke?
just trying to be polite because she knows that you are probably a complete psychopath who's
No, I don't think so.
Mixed their name with like some philosopher and David Lynch, and they're like, "Oh fucking hell, this is going to end up. It's going to end bad." So I've got to be nice.
So she enjoys my comments. I know people try to paint me with this brush that she's somehow offended or, God forbid, scared of my comments, and I don't
think she's that kind of character who gets scared, but I think she holds you
high esteem,
as like red alert. Like, I've got to treat this person well, otherwise anything could happen. It's
untrue. Also, I wanted to share something else and get your reaction to something else, an important video as well that I want your reaction to, and I think the people want your reaction to. Let me put that up here. Let me share this. And I want your honest reaction.
We've got some comments in the Glorious Tits and
Glorious.
So, Jamie, I just wanted to say hello. I don't know what's happening here. I will say that to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just we're just generally browsing the world of culture and entertainment.
Some light banter before we get into some heady topics.
Very heavy, very heavy.
All right. So if you'll put my screen up again, if you would, and I want you to listen and tell me about this video and your thoughts on it. Okay. Please listen.
Okay.
Setting you free right now. Is there anything you wanted to renounce?
I want to renounce a generational curse. My child is autistic, and he has no brains at all. Like, we've tried everything, and I've gone through deliverance before, and it's just so hard to break this curse.
God is breaking this generational curse right now. Thank you, Jesus. His power is here right now. It is time now for your deliverance and your family's deliverance. I break every generational curse off of you, off of this whole family. And I detach this family and you from what you. I declare every spirit attached, every spirit of witchcraft, every spirit of mental illness. I declare on 3, all him in Jesus' name.
It's quite agile.
2, 3.
That definitely works.
Free. Hallelujah!
And his child now has brains.
Thank you, Jesus.
What?
His power is enough. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. I declare to your son, I declare freedom to him. I declare creative miracles in his mind now. In Jesus' name.
So
free right now. Renounce.
I want to regenerate my child autistic. He has no brains at all.
Now, have you ever heard anybody describe?
I mean, that's shameful. It's like,
what kind of parent is this?
What person would what? It's like spreading the idea that autistic children have no brains, which is probably highly untrue.
Right. It's highly inappropriate.
I don't know what he's trying to express, whether he's saying that the child basically is just completely doesn't show much signs of, self-awareness or something. I don't know, but this is just, I don't know. Basically, my question is this been rehearsed? He's decided that's what he's going to say, because the child is coming up at the end, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, well, the people who want to come up, I don't know how this works, but I imagine the people who want to come up on stage, they tell them in advance, put your hand up if you want to come up and do one of these things. And
right, but when it goes into the literally having a sort of exorcism to make his child have brains, which I don't understand what is being performed on him, which is obviously all completely real, why that will result in his child at the end having brains suddenly. I mean, that's I don't know, just like a rather just sensible looking. Maybe is he Chinese or
he's some kind of Asian? But it seems like he has a bit of I guess this is Australian. Maybe I should have saved this for when Millie came in. She might know more.
Does he basically mean that he has no brains as well, and that he thinks that his child?
Well, so that kind of comment from a parent. I mean, look. I mean, we're not mocking people with this affliction. It's very sad.
With no brains.
No, certainly not. But the fact that the parent, I've met people who have, kids and stuff, and they would never describe their child in this manner, which makes me think this gentleman might be on the spectrum as well. To think that that's an appropriate comment to make. He has no brains. Why not to say he's severely autistic? He's not. There's non-communicating autistic children, sadly, like something like that.
The reality is, though, that from what I know, particularly, like people who are on the spectrum, they can be very empathetic, but I do think that the way they express themselves can be a one difficulty, as you are saying,
Yeah. So, like they don't understand how things could be offensive to people, like when they talk about it.
Well, it doesn't sound. I mean, if you just say it to yourself, it doesn't sound so bad. But it's like because of the imbecility of what he's doing afterwards, his sort of performance. I mean, maybe to him though, he thinks it's real in some way.
I do. Mm-hmm. I think he thinks it's real.
But he goes into it so fast. That's what's the most hilarious in a way, because he's kind of just flat, and then he just immediately starts going into this kind of,
Well, yeah, but you have to,
it's
you have to remember that he's been there for a while. They've been pumping up this audience with all kinds of like spiritual exercises. So he's already,
Yeah, but I'm saying as a performance,
that's
not how you should do it. Like you've got to have some line into that characterization. It's like when Leyland became Bob, for instance, in those things. It wasn't just it was a gradual thing, and to some degree.
Well, this is the power,
but I mean, I think it became basically like he was going to do a bit of kind of clumsy gymnastics, really, rather than like rolling over from his head and stuff, like flopping over, and then that in itself just seemed too mannered to be part of a real exorcism for me. I don't think.
Well,
I don't think an exorcism ritual involves graceful moves like that. Which
it's telling to me also how this evangelist, she keeps literally arm's length. Like she's not getting in too close. She doesn't want these people touching her or anything like that. I mean, throughout the video, where you see these, sleazy type guys like Richard Dawson type guys, they're whatever.
Well, I don't know, but I think it's understandable, like that. Yeah, thank you for the comment, Gloria's Tits, and
you have a very uplifting name, Gloria's Tits, and it makes me think of Gloria's Tits, and it's a comedy, clever comedy.
Gloria Stitz is the
Gloria's
actual name.
Tits. Yeah,
I didn't even realize this before, so
I don't know. It could be read two ways, right? A lady's the possessive for Gloria's, specifically Gloria's Tits, or it could be Glorious Tits, right? It could be either one. We'll never know which one it is. We'll have to just, it's one of those mysteries that will never be solved.
No, it won't.
Sadly,
many things won't be solved.
Yeah. So what's your that's your so people? Thank you, Jamie. Yes, Jamie loves the James React segments. This is a video I saw and I immediately thought of you and our viewers or your viewers too. They want to know how you're with everything that's going on in the world. They want to know how you're feeling about this topic, a video like that. So.
Yeah, I mean, the question was, what do you think about Queen of Hearts, right?
Oh, what do you think of another more Queen of Hearts?
Yeah, because I don't know if you've seen the trailer that Cameron did.
What, he did a new trailer?
It wasn't really a trailer. I mean, it was just... Do you want me to put it on?
Yeah, you can, or I can pull it up, however you want to do it.
Okay, I'll just find it now. Johnny obviously wants to come on, so I've sent him a link. I know he watched a couple of things that I've watched.
Why was he banned from the chat if you sent him a link?
They've not banned him.
Okay.
I'm just deleting the comment because
I see.
I mean, only yesterday I said to him, I'd rather have people come on at the start of the video. You see.
Oh, I see.
But that is actually for everyone. But the stuff with Mandela Man recently, it's
Yeah,
with this video, I don't want Mandela Man just coming in at like the end point or something. That's just.
Well, I think we need an update. But you're right. It's small doses. It's difficult to.
Well, I've had an update from him, you see. And
oh, have you?
so I think that's enough.
Okay, so he's home then. And I know he's home.
I don't want to turn his sort of his whole problems into a segment for entertainment, because
Okay.
that's just completely the opposite of how I've regarded all of it.
No,
honestly.
I know you find it uncomfortable.
Especially, I was not very well, you see, when it was going on. Like I had a bit of a temperature or something, and then I'm like, what's happening? Like this is just, and it just literally happened in a few days. So 1 minute it just escalated out of nowhere, and I was just like, what the hell,
Right.
Their whole obsession with Disney and stuff in itself is
unusual, to say the least.
Disturbing. I think Mandela Man is extremely wrong-headed to think that other people are going to want to, are going to be interested in any of this.
Well, he did describe it as a political football, which I thought was funny.
Yeah, but that's part of his illness. So
I think so. And he was very manic for that whole thing.
Yeah, precisely. But
which was a little much. I agree. So
Monkey Island, just drop it now. Get some new jokes. It's not funny, okay?
Well, that's pretty funny. Come on.
Not to me.
Cancelled?
It's really upsetting for me. So
you can't cancel me. I'm not to be canceled because that's part of the reason of being anonymous. So I did want to. So tell me again now. I've taken the time to rewatch all of the Exorcist films.
When?
These last couple of weeks, because I was going to go to the theater to see Believer, but then I found out it's available for streaming in 9 days from now. So forget
Seriously?
going to the 24th. I'm not going to the theater.
It's probably better to watch it in streaming anyway, I imagine.
Okay, that's something.
In terms of just the general. Well, I went to see it in the cinema, and it was like they'd squashed the film. They'd made it so it looked very wide, and it was squashed, taking off the subtitles that were coming up, where it mentions like locations. So
really. That was just your local cinema doing that?
Yeah.
Huh. All right. So what hey, Johnny, what can you tell
Johnny,
me about...
can you please be on camera today, like I've said to you many times?
Oh, I just got up. Yeah, sorry.
You just got up, and it's like, what time?
Yeah, but I didn't go to sleep forever.
Well, that's not my problem, is it? So. Come on camera, for God's sake. It's like me on camera, and that's it. Imagine how I feel. Have some empathy.
Well, you're the best looking one on camera, so it's okay.
Well, if you say so.
Anyway, so what was your review of Exorcist Believer, Jibs? Go ahead.
I think we'll leave my review till the end, because Johnny told me in a message he didn't want to express his view on it because he was worried that I was going to get upset.
Yeah.
Well, he did the usual Johnny thing. Which is
Johnny has such weight and gravitas with his reviews.
He doesn't finish the films half the time.
He says.
Most of the time, he leaves the theater. he left Top Gun. What else did you leave, Johnny, this past year? Thor: Love and Thunder. You walked out of Thor: Love and Thunder.
All right. What?
Yeah.
That's his.
I know you've only just woke up and stuff, but just give us the review.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was disappointed.
Did you go to the cinema or did you watch it at home?
I watched it at home.
So you watched the cam version.
So it was a bad copy, basically.
Oh, it was excellent. Actually, I was actually surprised how good It was. The sound was direct, so it was like surround sound and everything.
Where'd you go? Like 1, 2, 3 movies or something?
Oh, I just looked up for a torrent, and then I just happened to find a really good high def torrent. But anyways, James, yeah, I agree with you.
You were so spoiled with your setup.
How could it be a high def? Hang on.
You said high def cam.
How can it be? So okay, high def handy cam in the theater, looking at the.
Yeah,
no, he means
really
picture.
good.
I'm sure Johnny understands these matters.
Yeah,
he is an intelligent person. just pretends to be not so much sometimes.
All right.
But no, that's that compliment, if anything.
I know. I hear you, Jay.
So what are your thoughts? What do you rate it as?
I would
the
give
film,
it.
First of all.
Okay,
all right, come on.
yes,
Let's not just go on.
It. Yes. Okay. James, the only thing James had mentioned, and I do agree with him. He said he had told me offline that the first half was better, and I do agree. The first half of the movie is better than the second half.
Well, literally the first hour, and then
literally almost to the point.
50 minutes, and it's like someone just goes, right, we've got to finish this movie and just shove all this shit in here.
Did you feel that
we've got no time left?
Yeah,
it's like two separate films, basically.
Oh, I agree. When you said that, you nailed it on the head. It was just like, I thought the girls did good. The actors, the children actors.
That's what Christa Bell said to me as well.
They did excellent. The only problem I had was that the main father actor, he wasn't really pulling. I wasn't really.
He was too black.
No. No. It's just.
I apologize, Johnny. I don't take that as me making a joke in reference to you at all. It's on some of these horror pages and Reddit and stuff. People were calling it the wokeserist and all this.
Oh
and
no!
I was like, look at how many Exorcist films have got black people in, for instance.
Yes.
And
no.
But did you find it? So you're going to say you found him a bit too?
It was just bland. His
Or...
performance was just. There were so many actors I was imagining in that.
You're right, actually, on that. I've got to say, you're describing it well. I couldn't quite put it into words, but the film has as I predicted from having seen the ads and things, but I wanted the film to work very well despite that. But it has a TV movie, sort of acting style to some of it, and the acting is quite sort of good by some of the particularly the young ones.
Yes.
I think Ann Dowd, she was decent enough for me. But she did feel a bit like just each character was a bit shoehorned in. Like we're going to have the woman who was nearly a nun.
Yeah.
We're going to have like the parents of Catherine who are sort of very, like waspish sort of, or that I'm getting that more from Reddit, to be honest, saying that kind of, but like just performative Christians. They're like, okay, we're respectful.
Very much. Yeah.
But the thing is, that family was basically just written out of the film. It's all focused on Angela, really. And thank God that she was actually a good actress. She was strong. But as was Catherine, actually. She was good as well. But Catherine was you didn't get to really care about Catherine's family or her. So that scene, honestly, the point where it just kind of split and where it almost became like, is David Gordon Green trying to do David Lynch here or something? Because the scene
jarring. Yeah.
The scene when Ellen Burstyn goes upstairs after having never witnessed any of her own daughters, she just suddenly goes, "Okay, I'm going up there on my own. I'm like nearly 90. I'm frail."
And you're just thinking, like, what?
And this girl's she's not even tied onto the bed, and it doesn't feel. It feels incredibly dreamlike, that scene. And I'm just. The second film is called Deceiver. At the end of the film, we never actually see Catherine, for instance, lying in state or like we see a grave, and I thought, okay, that's Catherine's grave, but that's actually the grave of Angela's mother.
Oh shit! I think I missed that little detail.
Really? I don't know what David Gordon Green was doing with this film, other than just basically going, I'm just going to make this really weird prologue film, which, like, okay, that the initial start scenes where there's the earthquake. Like it's really well done. It's a good scene for that kind of
really
film.
Well. Good.
The special effects are good. They're it looks like the hotel's falling down. It's not just like crap CGI.
No.
And the thing is, this film cost $30 million. The original Exorcist, adjusted for inflation, would have cost near $90 million. So,
plus, James, the rights for the film apparently were $400 million just for the rights.
That was basically split. between Universal and Blumhouse. And
So I'm sorry, the
Morgan
budget
Creek.
was only $30 million for this film.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really good.
No, but did you hear what I just said? They had to pay for the rights, Voltaire.
Yeah. I get it, but nonetheless.
Yeah, but I honestly find that whole thing like. I do find the fact that they released that as like a press release, we paid this much. It just makes me think, okay, this is some kind of financial dealings, which if you actually look at the paper, it's more like just swapping properties with each other and agreements on paper. It's not like handing over $400 million between Blumhouse, Morgan Creek. I mean, for instance, Morgan Creek in 2004, before 20 years ago, they remade a whole Exorcist film. So because they didn't like Dominion, so they made Exorcist the beginning.
Question, James: is there going to be a guaranteed sequel to Believer?
It's been green lit before this one was even released.
Wow!
On the day before, I followed this over like too closely, and I kind of made myself in the end probably appreciate the film less than I did. I mean, I thought the film was basically just average, and for an Exorcist film, that's kind of like a crime.
It is, definitely.
I mean, this film is not as bad as Exorcist the Beginning, but the thing is, Exorcist the Beginning was almost so bad it was laughable. Whereas this is just like, lost opportunity, it's got bits in it, like when they're in the woods. People in comments often were saying stuff like, oh, that snake. Actually, it's an effective moment. Mm-hmm. It's like, to have something which is a real life thing, not just everything turned into
when something's tangible, it's always better.
Yeah, subliminal or like or we've got like Pazuzu's head floating over the woods or something. But I mean, because in this the demon wasn't even supposed to be Pazuzu apparently, as Green said. But watching the film, it doesn't give you any indication whatsoever of what the demon is or who it is, and
the assumption. I just assumed it was just the assumption.
I probably would say, as a film, I found it interesting, Jamie, but I wouldn't say that unless you're like a big Exorcist fan, like I am, then I can understand why people would be like, But I think that people who are completely not into The Exorcist as well, though, might actually enjoy it. So,
well, with a streaming release date of the 24th of October, there's no reason to go to the theater unless you really are excited to go see it. I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised that Johnny saw a very, high quality copy of it because of the fact that there's like already something out there, which
but it's still going to be a cam version once the 24th hits. Even for people who pirate, they'll have HD rips of it, real HD.
That same day,
Well, it's not going to be for your consideration. That's no. For your consideration, Ellen Burstyn. Oh, she's in about 15 minutes of the film, but what is she actually doing in those scenes? Things which seem absolutely not like her character at all. Mm-hmm. I mean, to be honest, if they just left it with her in that house that she's living in, and people were saying she's living in a house by the sea where anybody can just basically walk right up there.
Yeah.
Like, she's a well-known, like, legendary figure in some people's mind who know all about the exorcism and everything.
Yeah.
So, again, good point. It didn't occur to me particularly because I just watch it, on the basis of this as a film, but it was so predictable in that sense. It's like, okay, she's now like older, like very much older, but now she's like retired to the seaside, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? To the coast. It's like that. It reminds me of the OA when they go to the coastal place in that. But nothing happens though. It's just like he goes over there and he basically just goes, So
I mean, it's controversial, this film. If you put up my screen for a bit, James, I think I want to share something with the people. They need to know what's going on.
But when you do see it, Voltaire, I really look forward to your...
Yeah. I'll see it on the 24th. Yeah. So James and I are in a controversial... Well, it's not supposed to be controversial. It's a group on Facebook called Home Video Boutique.
Mm-hmm.
I'm even in that book.
You are in that group. There you are right there. How dare you?
It's like the first one tagging me and things.
But it says right here you're a member.
I mean, loads of things. I mean, like all these.
Well, you're in this group.
Ever since I started talking more about horror films and stuff, I thought, I'll share my videos and some of these horror things.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
This is normally
I know
a
you're
friendly
talking.
group. I recommend this group.
I've had that problem too.
And there's nothing wrong with the videos. Me and Marlene are talking, for instance.
No, they're great.
They're
excellent.
fine. They're watchable.
Yeah,
It's just
Very good.
nobody cares. That's it. You just have to live with it.
Yeah,
So-
you got to find the right people who don't know what people who do care. You just got to find the right people.
No, but the two extremes are like bad.
Exactly.
Like, if
Exactly.
What are
somebody
you
got,
ruffling through a bag of pistachios or something?
no, I've got some oranges. But if everybody really
A bag
loved
of
the video and there were like
Pistachios.
thousands of likes and things, that would be as problematic. It's be good just to get some attention, you know. So
I
Yeah,
agree.
well,
Yeah.
Good to try. So anyway, this is a very friendly group normally. And here it is. They're
not sure
announcing
about that.
they're announcing Exorcist Believer Special 4K Ultra HD Steelbook. People get
36.
excited
Yeah.
about these Steelbooks, you know.
Can I just mention that the day before the film was released, David Gordon Green, like they didn't do many interviews, partly because I think of still the strike and stuff, but they had like recorded interviews and things, and he just said, "Okay, I might not direct the next ones, probably stepping back." To say that the day of before the release of the film,
Yeah,
that was like, who's in charge of this publicity here? That's not good publicity. That's
No, I'd say not.
that's off-putting, but
I
it's
didn't know
also
that.
because it doesn't have any relevance now because the new film is coming out. People, the next one might be massively superior. Someone else takes hold of it and they, you know, rewrite it and more careful. They realize like they can't play safe like this one did. They've got to do something which is more shocking and things like that.
That's a good way to put it, James.
This
one
film
plays
just
really
didn't
safe. Yeah.
like. I mean, to ruin it, like you know, the man having his head turned around like by supernatural forces. That's bullshit. Like the first film makes it clear that it happened because the demon grabbed them. You don't see it. It's kept off screen. To have somebody's head going around, that felt like last minute reshoots or something. Like we've got to put something a bit like fucked up in here. But I was just watching it, and you're just watching it, and you're just thinking like, oh, for God's sake.
I know it takes you out for those 2 minutes. You're like, what?
It's like,
So-
the next going all the way around. Oh, get out.
All right, so I hope you bought the Steelbook because according to Gary, it's already sold out. So you're
That's not true.
what, Gary? Why? I trust Gary. Why would
You
you?
know
not?
why?
James, I
James,
bet
it
this
probably
film
is.
will-
They just had
this
a
film,
limited
honestly,
amount. That's why.
They make more money on home releases, right? This is just not covered that well. No, but this film will do fine at the box office. People who want to see it turn out like I did, i.e., idiots, or just I don't know,
Fanatics. There's a lot of exorcists.
I liked it in its own way, but at the same time, I was like, some of it, especially like that ending bit as well, like you know, the comes up very like. It's like, don't try and remake the original first film by having like this abrupt title card come on and like, you know. But,
Oh my God, yeah.
I mean, that was the reverse of the initial title card. It's not ruining anything for you, Voltaire.
No,
It's
no.
just,
Yeah,
like,
I'm not worried.
stylistic touches. I think you'll probably enjoy the film fine.
Okay,
but-
well, we'll see. But you know, it's this group again. This movie tore this group apart. Just who's supposed to celebrate these things.
Really?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but a lot of it is the fact that like, David Gordon Green came in, people liked his Halloween, then Halloween Kills, they were like,
And then
Halloween
all of a
Ends.
sudden-
What the hell?
Yeah, exactly.
All these
yeah.
people were like, and I watched Halloween Ends, and I was like, oh, this is a bit different, and it's kind of doesn't really go anywhere, but I don't really care. But like these people are just sort of so strong, and I think the trouble with David Gordon Green, I don't, even though he might say so, I don't honestly think he's that invested in horror.
No, you know what it
maybe
is,
not
James?
now. He's worn it out his welcome. That's the trouble.
He's one of those directors that has his own projects in his mind, and then he infuses them into these horrors, and that's why you get these tonal issues. You know, he wants to do something completely different. You can almost tell when I see him in an
Yeah, but I don't think. I think the thing with Exorcist Believer is also it feels like it could be a 2.5-hour film, i.e., like a flawed film for sure. But it would at least sort of draw you into it more. And the thing is, the film was released as it was going to be 2 hours, 1 minute. A month later, running time, 1 hour, 51 minutes. So 10 minutes has definitely been cut out. So
that middle part, something that transition.
you bring in all the deleted scenes and things.
Well, that's another reason to get the video. So, what do you think of this review by Lee Brown? If you expect first-class filmmaking, spine-chilling horror, controversial crucifix and head-twisting scenes, top special effects, then you probably won't enjoy it. But on the other hand, if you expect loud bangs, general jump scares and just all around played safe modern day horror, you'll most likely enjoy it. It sounds like his review is consistent with what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about loud bangs. I mean, I think, like, for instance, in all seriousness, like the makeup on the girls, I know that was a very esteemed makeup artist. It's excellent, but
it is good.
Talking about half an hour missing of the film, like Catherine. Oh, okay, you've got an upside down, rather relatively deep cut in your head of an upside down crucifix, basically. No explanation how that got there.
Yeah, it's just
they just don't give a fuck. They don't tell you. Just the same as in she walks at. There's a noise from the back of the church. Next thing, she's covered in like what is presumably the wine, communion wine, or some of her own blood as well. And that could have had a whole 10 minutes lead up. That would have also the horse is suddenly ill. They are found hiding in some what are apparently stables. The horse is ill. I thought this is brilliant. Like when I saw it in the ad, I thought the horse lying on the floor. This is a great image. This is a strong horror image. But in the film, it's just like, oh, the horse is ill. Someone and there's this young man coming, like, oh, we'll go and get something for it and whatever. Never mentioned again.
That's it. Just moved on. Yeah, I know.
And there could have been more things also that happened. And I was told that there was an ending part of the film, and I don't know if I was too tired to really, and not being very well. Like at the end, there's supposed to be lots of dolls found somewhere in the woods. That wasn't in the film, was it, Johnny? Right?
No. I don't remember that at all.
So I don't know if that was either someone seen a different version of the film, or
oh wow, that would have been kind of cool, because then the assumption of many children have been going through this, right, over the years. I guess that would be the assumption with all the dolls, or.
Well, it kind of goes into also more the nature of the demon as well, because some people were saying that.
I like that image in my head. I'm thinking it's just
Well, some people go into crazy, like they think it's another demon pretending to be Pazuzu, and it's like, okay, but this is not shown on in the film, so you're just making stuff up now,
Yeah, that's a fan theory. Yeah, exactly. You're portraying, or you're putting your own thing. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, Dan Pete, people have been saying if they made all of the trilogy, each film standalone, that would work. But I think the main problem is going to be, and main issue they've got to overcome, is to make the second film genuinely scary, because this one just, I don't think it was just because the ads showed a lot of the stuff, but the ads had various moments in them.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up, James.
They're just lots of stuff. She says, I don't want to die. In the film she says that. In the ad she says, I don't want to go to hell, and she said that more effectively than
more effectively. Yeah,
that was not. That's just cut out of the film. Like,
and plus, did you notice, James? They show you the first half and the second half of that movie in the film. Like they almost show you the ending too, like when they're in the chairs tied up at the end. I swear.
Yeah, you mean like I don't understand, especially with a film like The Exorcist. It's like them basically just showing all of the actual exorcism scenes in the original Exorcism in the trailer, which they never did. That's important. Like to include in the trailer, they even include a shot of like some sick coming out, but that's only briefly shown.
Yeah,
a projectile green bit that hits and out. But like in the original film, they didn't have like a trailer, which was just Linda Blair or a stand-in like puking on everyone.
They did trailers good back then. They didn't give away the big points that you think about and talk about for years, the iconic moments. Whereas today, you'll see an iconic moment in a trailer before you see the movie, and it's already ruined it. It's already.
Well, exactly. It's just ridiculous. I do think. I mean, I started sinking deep into this kind of like exorcist franchise hell, you could call it, and it's like I'm learning stuff like these films are hugely popular in Thailand, for instance, and I've seen. Yeah, if you go on YouTube, there's Latino versions of the ad for Exorcism. Exorcismo, and just Thailand ones. Exorcist. Yeah. No, that's the Japanese version, obviously, but the.
All right, be careful. The cultural, but so the movie is controversial. It tore this group apart.
Because I was watching this thing on Netflix called Lady Miss Dynamite or something. It's got some really stupid.
So you're doing offensive accents now as a result. All right. So look at this gentleman in the group calls the movie The Wokecercist.
I don't understand that.
And then this fellow
That's
goes,
like-
"Well, there it is, barely 8:30
That-
morning."
That's so shit. Like, people are so stupid
Well,
or like
okay.
lame, basically. They're like, oh, I saw that somewhere else. Somebody called
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that's a good
I'm
question.
gonna
What's
put that
woke
in.
about it?
Okay,
Yeah.
well, so
It's
this
not
is it.
woke. That's the least of its trouble.
So then look at I wrote.
And even if it was, I don't care.
I wrote,
Voltaire Lynch,
is
holy
this
fuck.
a woke film, as some commenters are claiming? And I tagged our friend James Woolley here,
Shall we give you the
knowing
finger,
he'd
no?
seen it. And this fella goes, "Holy F." And he started attacking me, telling me it's a silly question. So then I had to give him the business back.
Well, he just knows that it's a woke film, despite not having seen it.
I think
Well,
I didn't
loads
say
of
it was
people-
woke. I asked you if it was woke, knowing I'd
Oh,
seen it.
yeah.
This fella attacked me for asking the question. It's a silly question.
I think Wyatt
Oh, silly, it's a
Terwilliger
good question.
might be another moniker of James Boston.
No, this guy's a real twat. Okay?
Wyatt Terwilliger.
And honestly, there's loads of people. They've got their own opinion of the Exorcist believer, and they've not even seen it.
I was about to say, yeah, they just
Like-
Well, I
Don't
had
say
to
it.
finally tell him,
yeah.
end a sentence with "get it," and then finally James comes in and you said, "It's more dreamlike the film. Go see it." I'd say, considering the film does include the word "cunt, I won't classify the film like that.
Precisely.
James
The
doesn't
film
like
says-
cosplaying.
Yeah, basically they repeat the entire dialogue from the first film, which is like great. That's as good as the Wokeicist guy going, "Oh, I saw that. Someone else wrote Wokeicist. I'm gonna write that everywhere now."
All right, so I did. It's
This
not a
film's
silly
Wokeicist.
question. People in the group were calling it woke. I hadn't seen it, so I asked James, who I know is not biased towards these things.
Yeah, she
calling
says,
it-
No.
she says something like, she says, "What's happened to your cunting daughter?" or something, doesn't she? She literally repeats dialogue from the first film, and I was like, "Yeah." When that happened, I went,
Okay, so
"It's right."
again, I haven't seen the film,
Oh,
but the
yeah.
criticism. So the only reason some people are saying it's woke is because there's a black girl in it. That's terrible.
No, I think their main issue, the main thing, it's not just the person being black. It's the whole kind of like, let's perform an exorcism, but it's not just basically two priests. It's
okay.
like,
That's I saw that criticism too.
there's a woman
They're
like
taking God out of the
she's
exorcism.
putting loads of flowers in a bath, as I was talking
Yeah.
about with Marlena, and it's like I was just watching that, and I was like, this is like, I mean, seriously, David Gordon Green was known initially for comedy, and this is like,
Borderline.
what
yeah.
the bloody point is this supposed to be? No, he made out comedy, didn't he? But
Yeah.
not that I didn't watch Pineapple Express, for instance, but they were very,
I
just
like
balls to the wall comedies. Like
Yeah.
having a scene where there's like a woman just filling a bath with bits of flowers and some water, and then she's bottling it up and then throwing it on the girls. It's like,
Mhm.
well, that's going to help it, you know.
I was going to ask you the Linda Blair cameo, which is not really too much of a spoiler. Kind of came out of nowhere, right? She wasn't shown throughout the movie, right, or even presented. Or
It's one of those scenes where it's like,
I'm just
okay,
like,
we're
oh.
not going to even see her getting off a bus. in
Yeah,
this-
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We're not even going to see her doing anything. So it's just,
Uh-huh.
so it just feels like, okay.
I had to do a double take. I'm like, wait, is that what?
Well, I look forward to watching it and then whatever. But I went back and rewatched every film. Now I've seen every Exorcist film, but I haven't sat down and with the analytical eye to watch them all
Appreciate
in many
them.
years. So, like for example, the first Exorcist, I've seen it multiple times. I haven't seen it in one sit down all the way through in quite some time. And there's nothing to be said about the movie other than it's a brilliant film and.
Oh, a legendary ending. I love that ending.
It's one of these movies.
God.
I don't even call it a horror film. But
did you
just
watch
an excellent film.
the version you've never seen, the director's cut, or no?
I saw the version on HBO Max, so I don't know if that's a director's cut.
Good question. Yeah, I didn't even know
Um,
about this director's.
HBO
Oh,
Max.
the original version is probably the best one to watch, really.
HBO Max is usually really good about putting up the. Anyway, so whatever. I saw it. Doesn't matter. It's
no,
a
it would
brilliant
come up
film.
at the start if it says on the start,
It's a
You're
brilliant
right,
film.
yeah.
There's
You're
amazing shots in the movie. Friedkin does a great job of, he doesn't always have to show everything, and it's not annoying. You know what I mean? It's a wonderful film, and it's not a horror film. And even if you've seen it 20 times, go ahead and rewatch it. There's nothing wrong with it. No, the version I saw is not the director's cut. It doesn't say it's a director's cut, which
I completely agree with you on the Exorcist. Is not primarily a horror film. It's not. It's more like a psychological thriller or something.
Yeah, it is. And again, there's a lot of stuff that's not explained in the film, but it's not annoying. You know, you still don't really know why the hell Mirren is there. You don't know why the demon picked this little girl. They don't really tell you, do they? So,
well, I think in a lot of horror, basically, it's always good to leave some mystery. But the thing with The Exorcist is, it's about that mystery of everything. You know, the mystery of why Merrin's there, and then why the Pazuzu statue appears, even in the room, for instance. But I think all of the so-called shock horror of the film was very much like for the mid-70s, early to mid-70s. It's like when it was sort of released from bondage or whatever the banning that it had in this country, which is really just Warner Brothers banned it themselves because of the outcry of the film. And because English people can't be trusted, so we watched something like, there were children in this country who were like, I'm possessed now. That's kind of
well, no, and also, listen, people were more religious in 1973. Don't discount.
Oh, yeah, precisely. Yeah, I mean,
more people actually still
the Conjuring actually
You're
made
right,
that thing happen
statistically.
that was depicted in The Conjuring 2. So those girls saw The Exorcist and they were like, yeah. Well, you know what?
I'm possessed too.
We could get loads of money with like jumping off the bed. And
I was thinking of that too. That picture of jumping. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like it's 50 years ago. The world was a completely different place.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Think about it. It's 50 years. But yeah, and the movie's not gratuitous. Like even like, and obviously the guy who plays Karras is very good. But like little things Friedkin does, like the scene with
Jason Miller. That's the father of the actor in The Lost Boys.
Okay, I didn't know that. But like the scene where he comes out, where he's dreaming and he sees his mother in the subway, coming out of the subway or whatever, and it just has that flash of that demon's face. That's never brought back. It's a quick flash, and it's done really well. Like that's very subtle, and it's hard to do subtle stuff like without being annoying. I mean, I hate to say
that's when he's vulnerable, isn't it? Because he's drank whiskey and stuff, and
he's just feeling down in the dumps, right? And it's just like the use of it. Like they don't tell you how Mirren dies, none of that. Like the movie's brilliant. It's worth watching, just as a study in good film.
It's like a priest who's actually staying in the halls of students, and he's actually doing that legally. They don't know he's there. That's part of that scene. I don't know if you missed that aspect.
What do you mean? They don't know he's there?
He's basically, he goes out and he wears like disguises to pretend he's a student, not a priest. And that was just a subplot that they cut out of the film. So,
I didn't know that.
And he was so, uptight and stressed about that situation of himself pretending to be a priest, but also pretending to be a student, like in Revenge of the Nerds 2. And that ended with him being possessed by the demon and then throwing himself down the stairs. So that makes the ending more impactful.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, great film, and it's something that they could never hope to make a proper sequel for. I mean, you'd have to have lightning in a bottle.
Well, frankly, I thought that they were going to be making this Exorcist Believer on like a similar budget to the original Exorcist, and I thought that it would have some reference points to the original locations, for instance. I mean those are vital for me.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
They decided, okay, but as soon as I saw the trailers, I should have known that it's clearly, but it became more and more clear, especially, and it's just they
tried that, right? I mean,
they didn't. Exorcist 3 is a completely different thing like that.
No, they Exorcist 2.
No, but that didn't have the actual locations. They built a set because obviously the main problem was that the house was going to end up being devoured by locusts. Mm-hmm. So how could they film that in the real location? But they put it as something like the owners didn't want them filming there, which that probably could have been true as well, because they're like, okay, I'm just fed up with The Exorcist now. That was 4 or 5 years ago. Go and film it somewhere else.
Well, so that's the thing.
They made a whole set at the end of Exorcist 2. Yeah.
So Exorcist 2 comes out.
Did you watch that recently? Or?
Yeah, I watched them all recently. I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I'm not.
That was a set. It's a very good set, but for me, it's very obvious it's not real.
There's a lot of stuff that's very obviously whatever. So you wonder what happened 4 years later when they tried to do
very
Exorcist
obviously
2.
very obviously brawlers. You mean?
Right. Yeah. Well, Friedkin didn't want to do it, obviously, and now he shits all over Exorcist 2. He publicly shits on it.
Wow.
I don't know why
they did until he unfortunately passed away before Exorcist Believer came out. That's a coincidence.
Uh-oh. Or is it?
Or is it? Yeah.
Well, I mean, look I don't know
Probably
why he wouldn't do the sequel.
You know.
I'd like to know what happened there. If it was he didn't like the script, he didn't.
If you look at the films he
money.
made after The Exorcist, he seemed to he used his leverage as like this director who delivered like a massive hit to kind of go off and do his own thing. Like, I've never seen his film Sorcerer, but
I'd like to see that now.
I'm actually
it's got Ron Schneider.
Roy Schneider.
Roy Schneider, sorry. Ron. What the hell am I talking about?
Hey James, at some point, is it okay if me and Voltaire talk for like 2 minutes about the Ahsoka show?
Yeah, we'll do that later.
Oh yeah,
that's fine.
Okay, thanks.
I want to talk about Exorcist 2 for a moment here.
Yeah, I already saw Phantom Cooper's comment.
So
cool.
This scene here, put my screen up, James. This Richard Burton, and there's rumors that he was drunk for the entire filming of this.
Yeah, but look at the film. Like, it's very apparent. Like, you know, in the original The Exorcist, Jason Miller apparently had something of a drinking problem, but more in later life, actually. And he's got this vulnerability down pat, though, like Jason Miller. But Richard Burton, he's not like a vulnerable drunk. He's just like,
I think he's literally drunk, though. I don't think the character's supposed to be drunk. I think he's drunk.
Precisely, but that makes the performance just seem like,
Okay, so I want to, this in particular, I want to see.
What am I playing in this film? Am I a priest?
What am I doing here?
Right.
Where am
Look
I?
at. There's
What's
a
going
couple
on?
of scenes here. Here's this
Where am I?
wonderful dream sequence where they're doing this, whatever they do, this FaceTiming with that machinery they do. And here he is in Africa on this.
You gotta love that blue screen.
All right.
It's like, you can tell it's like nowhere near them, and they're like shitting themselves.
Yeah, but it's like 1977, so you can forgive that. But now look at this
Depth of
scene. Look at Richard Burton here. All right, when he walks into this African area.
Now that I know this, I didn't know that about the drinking before.
Look at him. James, this is how I imagine you were in Zambia when you were walking around.
Stumbling into like pillars and things.
Like, look at him. He's walking around dumbfounded. Now,
this is one scene that I forgot. I do remember the part where he climbs up. The climbing scene up into
oh, that's terrible. But look, he's just generally dumbfounded, I think is what he was going for. This must have been just a paycheck for him, and he said, "Fuck it, I'll just."
He did a lot of films just for a paycheck. At this point,
yeah, I guess so.
A lot of actors did around this kind of time. Like Oliver Reed was a respected actor, and then he like eventually was starring in films like Spasms, where there's basically just lots of snake.
Yes, I saw that. Yes. He was drunk the whole time too. The whole movie. Yeah.
This look on his face, though, is what most of the film is how he looks, whether he's in Africa or he's back home, he's talking to anybody. He's just basically looking like this.
But he looks like someone's blowing him with a really too hot fan, and he's just like he's just pissed off. Like,
get that out of my face.
Like, we're not really in Africa, for God's sake. I mean, like, this is just filmed on sets. But
for real, wow.
I mean, the cost of it must have been not every little bit of the whole film, but.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Well, they spent money on the film. I believe that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
This was supposed to. I'm
sure
this is a highly hyped
money
film.
out the window.
Yeah,
really. Like the bit with Ned Beatty when he just flies in a plane and stuff, and then there's that part where Richard Burton gets stoned and he looks drunk as hell in that scene. He's like, oh, these plastic rocks coming at him. Like,
see, he's always got this kind of look on his face throughout the entire film. I mean,
they call that glazed.
Yeah, glazed. Yeah, he's just hammered. Yeah,
it's just like basically a look of it encapsulates the look of most viewers who are like watching the film going, what?
Yeah, well,
like,
it's really apparent.
Like, why should I care about any of this? What?
Yes,
like the film it's just got this kind of perverse thing that makes you stick with it, and you just carry on looking, like watching.
Well, you want it to be good, right? You want it to be good. It's an Exorcist.
No, it is good in many ways. It's just that.
But what a hard
John Borman was just like clearly making it with some insane belief that this was somehow going to appeal.
He was
to
the original
people
believer
who watched the original Exorcist. Like, yeah, the people who like the Exorcist, they want to see like these close-ups of locusts flying everywhere. Yeah, and this. Oh,
for my business because
Oh, fuck off.
You might get us taken down if you play this clip, my friend.
I'm
it
not
will
gonna play
actually,
it.
yeah.
I'm not gonna play it. I'm just gonna put this.
Yeah, but the music in it as well. They're like,
So-
that music is so ever present throughout the film. It's like,
Yeah.
stop it.
So I will say Linda Blair is very good in this film. I don't care what anyone
Yes,
says.
and she was a very attractive actress, and it's kind of sad that she never took off as an actress outside.
She
there.
did in her own way. Like she,
I know. I've seen those
in the
movies too.
B-movie, or you could call it like D-movie world. I don't know. It's like,
Yeah,
she made films like Roller Boogie and
yeah, I've seen
films
that. Yeah.
about Savage Streets. Then she's also in another film like, something about caged steel or caged heat or something like that.
Okay,
Like
I haven't seen
about
that
women
one.
in prison.
Oh,
Because she does a like topless
Yeah,
scene.
she's topless.
oh,
I
Like,
haven't
every scene she had to do was topless. I
note
mean,
to
this-
self. What?
This movie made me want to go back and watch her.
in
film.
by her early 20s, she was dating
God.
Rick James.
Oh no!
Are you serious? What? She's a party girl. All right.
So people are like,
Hmm.
okay, look what this film did to her. It's like,
Look at this film.
it's
Just
got
maybe the
nothing to do
lifestyle.
with it. She just-
She made some interesting lifestyle
maybe she
choices.
was trying to forget The Exorcist.
I mean, but
Yeah.
for a young actress, she's
For
quite
sure.
good in this. Now, look, here's another example
Roller
of them
Boogie
using
is
money.
fun to watch. I
This
agree with
whole
Jamie.
set, this psychiatrist's office, this whatever you want to call it, this
Yeah,
postmodern
this has been
hipster
made for the film. Like, imagine how much money it costs to make that.
exactly. It's this
Yeah.
cool pod
There's nothing
setup.
in Exorcist Believer like on a par with that. I mean,
No. You're
this
right.
doesn't make Exorcist too good, but it definitely makes it interesting. So
Yeah.
Oh,
I
what a
don't
great
understand how
comparison,
people
James.
dismiss
Yeah.
it. Really, it's just
Yeah.
it's like they've got all these basically different rooms for different patients to go in and be, treated and everything. And then the
That's
idea is
odd.
also that they can change the windows so that they go black, don't they?
Yeah, it's
Because otherwise it'd be like everyone's just standing around watching, like,
Yeah.
oh, there's someone being like, talked to it there. It's a serious discussion. There's people outside going,
Just staring. Eating
well, they do
popcorn.
that. I mean, even when they're doing their thing where they hook up those mind things, their windows are wide open. Everybody can take a look at this fucking Catholic
Yeah.
priest mind melding
That's
with
true.
this young girl.
But most of the time, it does seem like the rest of the place is sort of empty.
I would have
so-
preferred if this actor was Donald Pleasant. I don't know why. It just would have been amazing.
There he is again with that look. Oi, give me another gin.
Yeah.
He's always. This was
Give
what
me
he was
another
going
gin.
for.
This was at his
Even-
church
actually,
favorite
when you
place.
said Donald, I thought of Donald Sutherland. I mean, he would have been excellent.
Ooh, you're right. Yeah.
Sure.
That's him
It
too.
would have been good.
He would have taken it seriously.
Because he had to do a lot of things, for instance, in Don't Look Now, which are on the face of it like pretty ridiculous. But
Mhm.
in this film, it's like Richard Burton he
I'm
just
glad,
is
I'm glad you showed me that
and-
movie, James, because I saw a recent article, people saying one of the most underrated movies, and that was one of them. And I'm like, yeah, I'm really glad James showed me that movie because that movie was excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's they try to the concept they try
Don't
to
Look Now is a film which is not explicitly a horror. So
Exactly.
what were you going to? Are you talking more about Exorcist 2?
I'm not done with Exorcist 2.
Sorry for
So
interrupting.
because
I'm
they were
always-
trying. They were trying, okay? Like they had to get a way to get into her head. They come up with this stupid fucking machine with these that has no scientific value.
Yeah, but the thing is,
whatsoever.
even in like when this film came out,
It was pseudoscience.
people must have been sat there in the audience going, "Yeah,
Yes.
okay, like this is not high tech. This is like something my sister did. Like, I'm going to hypnotize you with this lamp." Like,
the lamp hypnotizing you is
get the fuck
believable.
away.
But how these wires let her see into her brain or see into her? There's no
That was a bad
basis
memory.
for that. They don't even try to explain. There he is again, looking and so they take certain things like
He doesn't really have many expressions in the film, does he?
no, he doesn't.
No.
He's just drunk, and he's
Then
just-
again, in these scenes, it's like it's like he's trying to express something, but really, it's just like his mind is just like a blank page. It's like,
yeah. So look, they tried to
'Cause
do
if he-
certain things. So we don't know how Father Mirren got killed,
But
right?
don't you think it's hilarious how Ellen Burstyn didn't want to come back for this one? So they went, right, who looks like Ellen Burstyn? And they got
Yeah.
like Louise Fletcher.
Well, she does look a little bit like her.
Yeah.
I mean,
But she's known for her role as the Nurse Ratched in one.
yeah.
Yeah.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Mhm.
And she's stern in that film. She's
Very
similarly stern in this one. So you've got someone who's like, well, not as stern, but so you've got Richard Burton like, Louis Fletcher like, yeah.
Well, she gives him the business a couple of times in the movie.
A lot of charisma lacking.
Yeah, but the scene where the fire, they're looking at Reagan's. There's a fire in this picture. Oh, fucking hell, there's a fire over there now. And then I know, and it's like the film is a comedy. It's like, okay, get that broom. And then Richard Burton's hitting it with the end of the broom that doesn't have the actual broom. It's like, oh, that's going to help, isn't it? You know, it's like, don't go and get the fire alarm. Don't go and tell anyone. Just stand there going.
So they try to do things like, we don't know how Mirren was killed. We never do find out how he was killed in the first Exorcist. So they go, okay, let's do this. Everybody was wondering about that. Let's do this scene pretty early in the fucking movie to explain this heart massaging thing.
It is very uneven in that sense. Just randomly throw this in, especially after Reagan has gone to Dana Plato. She's gone, oh, I was possessed by a demon, but I'm all right now.
Yeah, that's not the case anymore, right? And here he is again. Like, this is it, baffled and confused, maybe a little bit of concern. There's not much variance at all. So, like, they're trying. I mean, these are big actors. Like, this is,
but like, it's well done in many ways, but at the same time,
right.
It's just got this aspect where you think, are they taking the piss here a bit?
almost
And I genuinely
parody,
think that Borman was like, they're not trying to recreate the look of the room in the original film.
It's
Instead,
self-parody
like
almost.
much darker.
Yeah.
It is,
and the
yeah,
voice.
definitely.
Why they do the voice that way, right? The voice is completely different of the demon while the girl's possessed. I don't know why they made those choices. You know,
just to differentiate it from the first one. I
but
think.
why would they want to? They're trying to recapture stuff from the first one.
They don't try and recapture though, do they?
Exactly.
Because after all, the end of the film features like a set of the. I mean, that's not recapturing something, is it? If it just, and it looks like a set. It looks like a very well made set for a horror, like, ride or walk that you go around and you're like, oh, this is the Exorcist Street,
It's just that they're with stuff with scenes
It's
like
the
this.
houses are too close together. Also, there was not all these houses across the road from the Exorcist house, which in the original film had a fake extension put on it. Which obviously, this kind of thing, Mark Commode's like, fucking hell. But he can't see the fun in Exorcist 2, it would seem. But
the choices they make,
yeah.
even calling the demon Pazuzu, is just ridiculous. Like, it's just dumb.
Yeah, because after all, Pazuzu is never mentioned in the first film.
No,
I
or
mean,
any
not
of the
in-
other films.
It's mentioned, I think, in the novel, but it's not like
It's not an Exorcist
not in the way
3.
that Exorcist 2 does it, which is like, okay, let's ride the teeth of the wind, Pazuzu.
Right.
Yeah, they're just. Yeah.
But if they're going to name the demon, that's fine. But Pazuzu even sounds ridiculous. Like, it's just not
Well,
scary.
it's a real demon, but the thing
It
is,
is
like,
Yeah, I know. I'm aware.
I don't know, it sounds very late.
I just think
70s,
of
but
Futurama.
just think of the scene where Linda Blair is in top. Like, why on earth is she living in like $1 million apartment?
That's
atop
not explained for the
That's
most
a good
part.
skyscraper with Sharon, the housekeeper. What?
Or whatever the assistant.
Why?
Well, her mother was a big actress, I guess. So the assistant.
Okay,
her
but
got
not.
a
So
pound.
she's a big enough actress to just buy her daughter and her housekeeper $1 million apartment and then not live with them either.
And they raise and they have pigeon. They have pigeon coops on.
And
this
also, she's got like a whole place you can just walk off onto.
right.
And
There's
they-
no railings on their on their
And
roof.
this film's supposed to be taken seriously. Like, clearly, they realised that this was.
Did
Yeah, the more you put
they-
into.
But also the many shots of like the tap dancing as well. Like, what?
Yeah.
And it cuts to that guy, the young guy playing the bassoon or whatever he's playing, and it's literally like a shot from Deliverance or something. It's just it's so irrelevant. It's like
I don't know.
like,
I
what?
mean,
What? The point of the scene seems to be Borman like, yeah, don't put a bra on, Linda. We want to see, as much jiggling about. How old is she, John? 16. It's fine.
no, she's not 16 in this, is she?
Oh, wait, what?
She was, yeah. She is 16.
Whoa.
16,
Oh,
17.
Well, it was 1976, so however old she was. Wow, I feel weird watching the movie now because I was thinking how fetching she looked. That's terrible.
Just about everyone who watches the film thinks that. Like Linda Blair, why do you think she went on to make so many,
right.
dodgy films? But I mean, absolutely, Johnny's right in the sense of she should have had a more respectable film career, but that's just not the way Hollywood worked then, and still doesn't really. Sadly,
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so like, look, look, the movie's bad, but there's a lot of memorable things to the movie. You know what I mean? That again, I don't know.
I don't even think it's bad personally. That's my opinion.
It's just poorly executed, I guess. You're right. I hesitate to say it's bad.
Well, it feels like basically they were just, okay, let's do this. This is crazy, I know, but we've got to kind of top it with the next scene, and it becomes more and more crazy. And like, it got to the point where, the scene where towards the end where it's like she's seducing Richard Burton's priest. That was a much longer scene in the original script and everything. And Richard Burton said, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
Like, this is just too much. Like, she's too young, and it's just kind of just too exploitational. So, but even as it is in the film, and there are at least there's 2 or 3 different edits of the film, by the way. Like,
not surprised in the slightest.
Did you see the one where it starts off where Richard Burton is going up some steps to that woman who, she sets herself on fire?
I don't think I've seen that one.
I don't think that was in the version I saw either.
Yeah, it starts off with him going up these steps, which is like, again, a sort of reminiscent of the steps next to the house and things.
Okay, now that James, is there a preferred version out of these ones that you would prefer? Like, is there one that you say, okay, out of all these, check this one out?
I don't know which ones go together, but the one that ends basically with the...
Oh, yes. I did the version where the woman's on fire. Yeah.
No, but there is I'm just talking about a minimal shot of, like, before that, he was walking up some steps in this favela. It's, the...
Like an extended, right, of that, I guess?
Yeah, it's like an extension of the scene, so it gives an intro. But I think the films are made better by having more of that. For instance, like I'm talking about Exorcist Believer, like, Linda Blair doesn't just appear out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah, exactly. What you said about the idea of her coming off a bus, there could have been a music playing.
Well, that's almost cliched, but the thing is,
better than what they did.
Got to get there somehow.
So this has none of the. So this again, I agree
Drop
with
her off
you.
in an Uber. I don't care, but at least have some kind of. And then they just film the film cliche would be just from her feet, and then eventually you see her.
Then you see it goes up and
give it a little bit of, admittedly, slightly corny, but these films are corny at some point in each in their heart of hearts.
Can I just say what's a lost art too? The lost art too, I say, of modern film is the freeze frame at the end. You remember how movies used to just freeze the frame?
Well, that precisely
I fucking love that.
There's 2 different endings of The Exorcist. Like, basically, it didn't immediately set. It did okay at the box office, but not great. But the critics were the worst, and so Borman did a re-edit of it a bit. I think I don't know exactly in mind of what, but it wasn't like much. It wasn't much different. But the ending that I like is the one where it has that noise again. The room, that noise from this, and it shows.
Oh yeah.
It's it's like Linda Blair doing that at the end.
Oh, yeah.
She's in the ruins. It ends with just this shot of her face looking, and she's looking at Louise Fletcher's character. We don't no, I think actually, and Richard Burton survives in that one. In the other ending, it's not clear what happened to him.
Okay, the ending you saw, Voltaire, is the. Do you remember how it ended?
And it ends with literally the same ending that Lynch used at the end of Fire Walk with Me. And I'm not of this going from it goes to a pause on Linda Blair's face and then to white. That is exactly the same as we see with her like smiling, basically. So it's like a happy ending, and then we end with that music, like the sort of. It's just, and it's like I love all that stuff, but at the same time, and I'm like, and I think absolutely Lynch saw Exorcist too,
Well, I'm sure he did. I think everybody
I think he would love it.
The first film was such a big phenomenon.
He would recognize it as being a bit of a.
He would definitely see it as.
Well, no, I mean, look
a bit of a film disaster in some senses, but
this is
just the proportion. They had too much money and just
too much cocaine. This was 1977.
I don't know about that, but
you're absolutely right.
Oh, absolutely. This movie is what was going to happen to most movies going into the 80s. Coming from the 70s.
It's basically, it's Borman basically going, I want to do this, and they're like, hell yeah.
Right.
And it's like,
Everybody was brimming with
nobody's thinking like, I'm not sure. Like, this is
no one asked why, but
like, how
want
is
to do
team
this?
gonna
Okay,
play into this one?
dot. But why?
Well, I mean, they were trying to take parts of the story and fill holes, and that's the route they went. I mean, I don't blame them for that. Like the movie, again, you're right, James. It's bad to don't call it bad. It has its charm. It's just how do you
I get angry if you call it bad.
Yeah, how do you follow up the first Exorcist? I mean, it was I don't know how else.
Well, you can. It's lightning in a bottle.
The thing is, I think this film is the perfect follow up because
follow
people were going into the cinemas and they're going like, "What are Warner Brothers doing to us?" Like, it's like some kind of weird punishment. Like, hey, you like The Exorcist? Watch this, and that's it. It's like, what were they on? You know, I don't think they were all on something, but I think
they definitely were.
They may have been missing sleep or doing something wrong. Like,
up for weeks at end.
Yeah, release it, man. It's going to be massive.
It's going to be a hit, man. Yeah.
Well, there's a reason they waited till 1990 before they tried again, right? For Exorcist 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely.
Think about that.
Yeah, because when Exorcist 3 came out, it was honestly, I know for sure. I mean, I think this is the true everywhere it was released, but in the UK, people were just like, "What?" You know what I mean? It didn't have any. Nobody even noticed that it was being released. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas, but the thing is, the film is so good overall. So, you know.
All right. So Exorcist 3, I watched it again. By the way, everybody, the director's cut is on YouTube in full.
Do you mean with all the VHS bits in?
Yeah, it says it's the 1990 director's cut Exorcist 3.
You didn't watch that?
I didn't watch that version. I watched the version on Amazon Prime, but when I was looking for clips, I saw it's been up for a month and it has 3,000 views on it. If you just put Exorcist 3 director's cut 1990, the entire film is there.
I honestly think like the original version of the film is good nonetheless. Like once it gets into director's cut and all the extra scenes they filmed, it's just confusing because basically Blatty originally wanted it to be just Brad Dourif was in the film as the Gemini killer, and that's it. And it doesn't explain that like the Gemini killer has taken over Karras's body because Brad Dourif is playing Karras, so he's a completely different actor. So that you can see where the studio would be like, people are not going to understand this. What are you doing? Like the actor who played Damien Karras is still alive. Get him in the film. You know, it's just and like why would
isn't he?
Would a Gemini killer? He is.
No. Why isn't he in the film more? Is what I'm saying. Why?
Because he was added basically. Because I
didn't know that.
The way the film is, it's like Brad Dourif is probably one of the strongest elements of the film as a whole because his performance is just like amazing, really, mostly. Especially in the shouting and his sort of demonic. But I don't even understand myself exactly what the relationship is between Gemini Killer and then Pazuzu, for instance. But I think the film, by the point of Exorcist 3, Pazuzu is not really mentioned, so just forget about that. It's just
so they went a different direction with Exorcist 3 after the failure, I presume, of presumably because of the failure of
I think that, like, for instance, Lynch and Frost. I mean, I know this sounds a bit eccentric or something, but I really do think that they watched Exorcist 3 and went, "Oh, bloody hell, that's great!" Like the start of it, where it's like, I dreamed of a rose and falling down a long flight of stairs. It's like only 2 years later. Well, I mean, literally filmed a year later, The Blue Rose. And it's like. I mean, because bearing in mind, like Lynch was sent the script for Red Dragon, made as Manhunter, and this film is very much like a detective film.
Okay,
overall.
Exactly. They went away from that you got my point there. They went away from what they tried to do in Exorcist 2, and they made this a police procedural.
Yeah, absolutely. It gradually goes into, and if you watch it on the Blu-ray, which I bought, and you watch the scene where it's in the cathedral or whatever, and it's supposed to be, bragging there. And it's like got Fabio there, and there's Samuel L. Jackson dressed like one of the woodsmen who appears in Fire War with Me. It's like, what are they doing there? And that scene, honestly, though, visually, I think it's like stunning.
It's very nice.
Some people have thought it seems like, they're like, what is Blatty doing? This seems a bit bit kind of over the top.
I think they wanted to bring more supernatural elements into the film. It's lacking in supernatural.
No, I think when they do bring it in, I think they do it very well. But I mean, I think this is about the first film that ever had like somebody crawling around on a ceiling. So
that was brilliant.
Like that.
Those are brilliant shots, and obviously even that little shot.
But it wasn't done for horror. It was just done for unsettling. You know.
Well, that's it. That's the kind of horror that's impressive to me. It's not a jump scare. Seeing that old lady on the ceiling is unsettling, is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant. Now, when I rewatched this film, put my screen up. I also watched it with George C. Scott. He's always seems like he's overacting, but he's just a very good actor. He's always like, but when I watched this film again, I watched it with the mind of like,
he seems like really quite on edge and sort of like
like he's about to have a heart attack.
But the thing is, he's really pissed off about the fish that's in the bath. But I would be if someone put a fish in the bath and you can't have a bath, or I mean, they clearly didn't have a shower, but it's like it's just got this real homey feel to it, and just like real life almost. Even though, like a lot of the hospital stuff, that's a set, but you know, I don't ruin the film, but
it's a good set.
But it's believable though, isn't it? You believe George C. Scott in this film.
It's almost a claustrophobic hospital, and I think that was designed on purpose. Like, it seems very tight. It seems like the hallways don't seem big in a lot of scenes. And
and that woman who says, "Yeah, I'm a bitch" and stuff, like,
and everybody's smoking.
Like right next to patients and stuff. Get well soon.
This doctor, the actor, I can't remember his name. He looks completely different now. He's much heavier. And much
He's
older.
excellent in that film.
He's great in this film.
I love how he just has, you know, like films. This is a cliche of like, you know, the mental kind of axis going a bit funny, like saving racks, piles of newspapers.
Yeah.
Which sometimes I've got close to that kind of thing.
I'm
sure many people are, but no, it's just like, but I love how he rehearses that thing he's going to say as well. That scene is excellent.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's done very well. Like, so when I watch it,
and he's smoking right throughout the whole scene, isn't he? As well?
Smoking, and they've got two full ashtrays, Sarah Palmer style, like in his office. Like there's just, they show the loaded ashtrays.
It's like this film has. I think what this film has is there's no glamour whatsoever. It's just totally...
This actor's great, but he's so funny in Doctor Strange, though. Or
you mean George C.
Oh, sorry, not Doctor Strange. You know what I'm talking.
You want to see him in the film?
He's hilarious. This guy. He's so like physical. Like his comedy is just I don't know. It's hilarious.
That's quite a while before though, when he was quite a bit younger. But when he's in that film where his daughter gets into the Schrader film, is it Schrader? Is it called Hardcore or something?
Yes, Hardcore.
That film is just like, who thought this was a good idea for a film? Like,
very disturbing. So, like, look at back to your point. Like, look at this. Just watch this. Just even how he does this, like how he lights the cigarette off his former cigarette.
Yeah, it's like now. It's now people go, okay, we've got to. This scene's going on too long, and you're just like, no,
this is well done.
You have to keep this sort of thing in because it
creates
it's
emotion.
The same quality that Twin Peaks had in, especially back in the day. And bear in mind, Twin Peaks came out at the same time as this, the original show. The characters had this kind of eccentricity, but it's totally just human, believable.
In the background, it's hilarious.
So exactly. No, but this is back to what James was saying about the set. Like the set is very. Look at here's the ashtrays. Here's the ashtrays. Here's a photo of him.
I find that hilarious. I always find photos of people in the scene hilarious.
But that would be completely normal then.
Yes,
almost.
Yeah.
That's true.
But it shows an ego, right? It's also supposed to.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Definitely.
It's supposed to show an ego. And then he's got this thing here, and then there's your piles of newspapers.
I just picture James's place with pictures of himself everywhere.
No, well, when I was watching this, I found it so hilarious. I go, I want to go get a portrait of myself.
I'm about the opposite of that. Come on.
It's really well thought out, and it's really well done. Now, when I was watching it, I also watched it with the mind of, why was this Jeffrey Dahmer's favorite film, and why did he show it to his victims?
Really, that's the mindset you went into with the.
I wanted to know why.
No, I think it's a matter of like, as so many bad things happen, it's a matter of
Jeffrey Dahmer think of them.
It's just a question of like bad timing, and the film has a weird fascination for somebody like that. I think Jeffrey Dahmer was clearly a relatively intelligent person, and this film would pull him in, wouldn't it? So
it's interesting. When I saw that in that Netflix show that he loved that film, I didn't know that about him. I was like, why? It's not particularly gory. It's not particular. I mean, and
it's
also
slow.
It's slow, and you can't. But I thought about it. I go, Jeffrey Dahmer wouldn't like a gory film because he knows what gore really looks like.
It's graphic in terms of its description of things. Like it mentions about the black boy having his head cut off, or having ingots put through his eyes, and then he's put into the crucifixion pose on the 2 oars and things. Like,
right.
He would love that kind of stuff because it appeals to a this desire for like punishment, but also, you know, clearly some almost sexual aspect to it.
That picture beside his picture is someone being bloodletted, I think, from like the.
So that's also from the Ninth Gate. I forget what that. If you ever see the movie The Ninth Gate, this is one of the cards that Johnny Depp or whatever they show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a famous.
Come on, let's just stay on top of that. Let's just.
Well, I mean,
no, that was a good info. I didn't know
picture in the background.
Yeah, I didn't. Let's
talk about the set. But like the movie is really well done. They tried to do it. It doesn't need to be an Exorcist film. There's no reason for it to be an Exorcist film other than Karras, right? But it didn't need him to be in there. I don't know, but I mean, I'm surprised. This is a typical George C. Scott, but that's what he is. He's almost too intense, to be honest with you. Sometimes he always seems like he's on the verge of a heart attack or something. And then
it's a bit of a parody, isn't it? So.
I don't think he thinks so.
No,
but you're right, James. This is good.
I
do. This scene here,
imagine
where
being him. Come on. He
No,
knows he's giving an over-the-top performance.
Do you think so? I think he just thinks this is great acting. This is what it is.
Well, this is a fan edit. These are the VHS scenes put into the.
That's not even a human reaction to anything.
See how the aspect ratio changes? These are the VHS scenes.
Well, it could be. You're right. You know what, because you're right though. I underappreciated his performance. This guy, he is very good in it.
Most of the director's cut is made out of just the original movie and then VHS shots because they lost the original masters. So,
is that what's his name? That actor? Sorry,
yeah, I only said his name like about 20 minutes ago. Brad Dourif.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a very good film. This sequence that leads up to the famous scene of the nun coming out. If you watch the scene, first of all, the shot, okay. This shooting down a hallway like this is not unique, but I've seen it done badly many times, right? And I'm sure both of you have too.
Well, what about the shots when it's like Ronette coming awake and she's having the vision?
I love that. That's one of my favorite things. Yeah,
that's very good.
You really love seeing Laura being murdered.
No. The shot of the hallway what we're talking about right now. What are you talking about?
The aspect of the hallway shot.
Yeah.
Like the camera's here, it's framed, and all the action's up here. You know what I mean? And it's slow, man. Is it a slow build for this whole scene? But you know something's happening, and she goes and checks out. It's not done cheesily. It's just this is really good work, is what I'm trying to say.
I agree.
Is this as good as the first Exorcist? No, but I barely consider this an Exorcist film.
But it's like its own thing. Like they say, like people are saying, make these new ones self-contained. You can understand why they might think that based on these films. The first Exorcist 1, 2, and 3 are all self-contained, really.
Yeah, and I think at the time...
They don't rely on any of the others, really, in terms of, you know, forwarding the plot or forwarding the style. They're completely different style each time within reason. But yeah, in the original, this Exorcist 3, the ending, you know, with the priest, that is all studio. But it still works fine, I would say. It does feel just like it's kind of just been hammered in there, though. It just sort of comes out of nowhere, and there's a priest turning up, and it's like, oh, okay, you know.
And why isn't Alex Karras why isn't Karras in Father Karras in it more? What did you say? They just added him later? Is that what you're saying?
Well, all the shots you're seeing on VHS, those are the original cut of the film. Karras was never supposed to be in the film as played by Jason Miller. Brad Dourif was playing Karras.
Oh, I see.
You see, that's where Blatty comes from. He's a writer.
Right.
He doesn't care about the fact that the actor just looks completely different. You see, so it's like he obviously just wants to differentiate the film from the original Exorcist completely. Because I mean, even this, like, we never see Reagan crawling across the ceiling. This is just totally beyond.
No, this was an
gravity,
idea he had,
isn't it?
Well, she's possessed. This is just
yeah, but it doesn't matter whether she's possessed or not. I'm saying that it's just completely. It borders on. It goes into comedy almost, because the important thing to remember is with Blatty as well. He started his career as a comedy writer, so.
Is that right? See, comedy. A lot of these comedians go to horror.
Great. Yeah, great.
I think he wrote. I don't know if he was associated or not, but if you look back on his career anyway, I'm not sure if he was associated with one of the first Pink Panther films, writing that, for instance. But I'll look him up.
All right.
Yeah, I just saw the first Pink Panther movie not too long ago, or rewatched it.
I don't mean the one with Steve Martin.
No. I'm talking about Peter Sellers.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know.
I remember Josh was a massive fan of the Steve Martin one.
Honestly, James, I watched first 5 minutes of that and I was like, "This is just total." I just shut it off. And I like Steve Martin, but that movie was just too much. And they made 2 of them too. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So I don't know how this. I don't remember. Or I don't know what the numbers are. If this movie did well in the theaters, or
probably better when it came to VHS. I bet you. Like most movies.
Of its time, that's probably. I mean, that is definitely true. I think they tried to. I don't know whether it was released by Morgan Creek or whoever. Who they seem to have had a long time relationship with the Exorcist properties. But if you just look at the poster, it just says, "Dare you walk these steps again?" And it's just his character at the top of the steps. Never happens in the film. The film doesn't feature really immense, not in terms of plot. It does show the steps again, which always gets the thumbs up from me. But it's like, he's not trying to recreate the original film anyway.
No,
like that opening whole bit where it goes from the church or the chapel and then down goes to the shot of the stairs and things. That's excellent, really good. But the Exorcist 3 as well, like the poster says "at the Exorcist," and then the 3 is inside the O. Like, oh, you can't see us. Like some people will be like, "Oh, it's a new version of the Exorcist." Then I'll go and see that. But then they turn up, they're going to be watching it and they're thinking, "This is nothing like the Exorcist again." So it's like the Exorcist 2. That was nothing like the Exorcist.
Yeah,
Exorcist 3 is nothing like the Exorcist, really.
Yeah, that first one was really lightning in a bottle. I don't think they'll ever be able to recreate or recapture that magic.
They could. It's just nobody's ever really.
Yeah.
But I think to recapture it, sort of like, from step 1 to the end point of the film would be pointless. It's just that would be just a boring remake. So.
All right, so just to move it along here a little bit. So then, now James, do you know?
Bear in mind, I've watched a drama all about Jimmy Savile this week, and
Jesus,
a lot of people seem to be not letting me talk about that due to censorship. So,
we can talk about it. I mean, is that the one on Netflix? But we'll get.
No, it's on BBC. So.
Oh, okay. So what's the story with Exorcist Beginning and Exorcist Believer? Now, my understanding is Exorcist Beginning. They made it. They thought it was too talky, and they cut it again and put out Believer. Is that correct?
No, the original one was directed by Paul Schrader, and he made it almost like in sort of Western style. With, if you see it, and then it's been released after the fact as Dominion, they call it.
Dominion. Sorry, yeah.
So they looked at it, but it was called The Exorcist: The Beginning initially. The studio just says, "Well, this is not going to be successful, so we want something that's a surefire hit." And so I don't understand at what point you suddenly bring in Rennie Harlin. That's just, it's just, I mean, he's the director of Cliffhanger, which is like really good film, but it's not the same kind of thing, is it? Rennie Harlin's an action film, an action filmmaker. Like, he made Die Hard 2.
Okay. Well, so I didn't, I watched Beginning. I didn't watch Dominion.
Right. But it's not, I mean, it's like it's not really high budget. It's sort of middle budget, I suppose. But a lot of the special effects in it are quite dodgy, aren't they?
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's interesting. Again, I mean, the story was an interesting story that they tried.
What are you putting up now? Exorcist Beginning, Gopi Sahi.
I don't know what the Gopi Sahi part.
You're having
means.
taking a piss now.
I don't know if that's an Indian version. I don't know. I'm not. This is the movie, though. Somebody's got the entire film on.
Yeah, but the ending. The starting of the film and the ending. Never mind. Like the starting has just so much CGI. It's like,
Yeah, you really know it's 2004. Like how CGI is. It's bad CGI too.
It's literally bad PS2 intro sequence for a game.
PS2.
It's
There's one shot of when he's in like some town, and it
PS2.
cuts into the scene of him drinking or something. Everyone in it's like,
yeah. Now, James, this actor, can you help me with this actor?
oh no.
You know who he is. The guy who was he in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels?
All he ever does is play the same character.
He plays a gruff Northern Englander. All right, then.
Yeah, but so what the hell is he doing in wherever they're supposed to be?
He's a lead excavator. I think that's what his role is.
Yeah, oh yeah, like I thought he's more like Cockney.
I guess he is more Cockney. But I like how he goes, "Oh, doctor, won't you come around and check out the swelling I've got between me legs at night?" Which I think is just a brilliant dialogue. And, you know, he's supposed to be a rough around that character, Edge's character.
Yeah, the film definitely doesn't... It tries to be a bit like, you know, offensive at times, but it just doesn't really succeed, I would say.
Well, there's a scene where they're in the tents when they go to this place, and the little black kid comes in, and that guy, the English guy, goes, "Get out of here!" And then the guy playing Mirren stops him and goes, "Hey, don't be so mean to him." He's like, "Okay." Like it's
equal opportunities, though. He shouts at any children generally. As soon as he sees a child, he starts shouting. Get out of here, you cunt!
Yeah, he's a bad guy. He's supposed
Sorry,
to be
that was going too far, but
no, he's supposed to be an unlikable character,
too far.
A bit racist. You know what I mean? But which would he probably? Let's face it, like
doesn't like small black children who then later on possessed in the film.
Cockney guy taking a job like this.
Well, he was right. That young black child then got possessed, so he's just
well. There you go. You know. So there's some interesting stuff in this movie. This guy's in it too. Do you know this actor's name, James? I mean, I've seen him in several things. He was in Game of Thrones as well.
Yeah, he always plays like a character like CW number 7.
Yeah, he was the guy who helped betray Robb Stark at the Red Wedding. I forget what house that is at River Run.
Can I just show you this delightful headline here from this newspaper I'm looking at?
Yeah, okay.
Bella Ramsey on Time, Fame, and Daddy Pedro Pascal. Completely normal. It's just fine.
Get out of here. I'm making a big deal about her. My God, was she that great? Like, geez, what the hell? I mean, honestly, if you watch that show...
She's better than Meryl Streep and...
Listen, if you watch that show, the little girl who plays his real daughter in the first, 2 episodes?
Is way better.
Way better than this girl.
Oh
if they had switched their roles...
Would have been perfect.
The other girl would have been superior, but everybody makes it. Well, maybe we're wrong, Johnny, because everybody loves this girl's performance, and they're hailing her.
Everybody likes Bella Ramsey.
So that's how you know we're right.
She looks disabled. Okay.
Jeez. The other girl is really good. Like, she plays his daughter, and she does a very nice job playing his daughter. I don't know. Whatever.
No, Bella Ramsey. She's basically not conventionally like good looking. So, but she can act. She can act. I'm looking forward to her in Exorcist Deceiver.
All right. What do you mean? What's that? What's Exorcist Deceiver?
It's the next.
That's the next one is starting filming.
Oh, they've already announced
about January. So, and it's coming out in April 2025. So, guaranteed.
What do you make of this release date, October 24th, for streaming? Do you think they're just trying to catch on to people downloading films for Halloween, scary films for Halloween?
Absolutely. The whole thing is just carefully planned, like, you know.
Okay, James.
To get as many, you know, as much monetary flow as possible. Like it's coming out, you know, these ones that are released, though, the Blu-ray and everything, that's not out till April. Mm. But then the fact that the next one will be out in the April of the following year, that's not an accident. You know, they're like, okay, maybe we didn't get them with the first one, you know, but we're going to carry on. So,
you know. So anyway, this film,
It's
it's
a good point,
watchable, but I don't know. You know what? I gotta
Exorcist,
tell you,
Exorcist Deceiver will have that actor in it there, and he possesses young children by
Yeah.
crawling in through their windows with long hair,
Yeah.
wearing stained overalls.
Name
I
Raw.
mean, is this actor even alive anymore? If he is,
No.
get him in.
yeah,
it.
he was in
way.
Game of Thrones.
There's no way it's still alive.
He was in-
David Lynch announces comeback with Exorcist Deceiver.
yeah,
I'm going to
Alan-
make it a really good film. I promise you.
His name is Alan Ford.
That would actually be a good. I would definitely watch a David Lynch Exorcist film. Just saying.
Yeah, I
That'd
would.
be Very good. Oh my God.
So I don't know. Like, is this movie? It's watchable. Is it more enjoyable than Exorcist 2? In some ways, no, it's not. But it has its moments, and
It's not. It's tedious. I find.
it-
Can you believe that I saw Exorcist beginning on the cinema? And the
What?
person
Yes, I
I went with this person, and he declared it the best film he'd ever seen.
how old was he at the time? Was it at
I don't
14?
know.
When I was like 14, every movie I saw was like, wow, that was amazing.
Yeah, I had that
everything
feeling too. Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't that young.
I saw
but-
Godzilla. Remember that '98 Godzilla in the theater? I thought that was
Yeah,
amazing.
sure. I remember I had a friend who saw Hudson Hawk in the theater. He's like, Hudson Hawk is just amazing.
He stayed right to the end where after the Puff Daddy song was playing and stuff.
Yeah,
And then immediately went out and bought the soundtrack on CD.
I might have. I don't
This
know.
is the bomb.
Well, he ruined that Led Zeppelin Cashmere song. I'm just gonna say that was. Oh my God.
So there's
It was
some
good-
funny
it was good
things
promo
like
for the film, though.
the
Yeah,
doctor.
yeah.
She was raped by Nazis, and then her husband, after he
Whoa,
found out she
whoa,
was
it's like
raped
too
by
dark
Nazis,
here. Whoa.
they don't show it. She was raped by she
I know.
was abused by Nazis.
But the whole film is just like one unpleasant thing
Yeah,
after another, either described or shown.
Yeah, you're
But-
right.
Yeah.
And then
But he-
her husband, who was in love with her, found out what the Nazis did to her. He's like, "Oh yeah, I want nothing to do with that," and he dumped her because she.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
The Exorcist beginning, it's literally like it was made so that it would be big in Thailand. I mean, I'm not saying that people in Thailand don't have cinematic kind of ability to understand what's a good film, but it's like playing in something bizarre, and people are like, "Ugh."
See, when I hear
I
the
also
name
think he's
Exorcist Beginning, I think of like the origins of Pazuzu. Why not
yeah,
have
that
him-
is. It is
It is? Oh,
somewhat
okay.
like that. Yeah, it
Oh.
is quite a bit like that. They try to tell the story, which I respect the story they
Hmm.
tried to write. So the woman was battered by these Nazis. So one of the things that happens when the demon starts coming around, she tells him, she goes, I was bleeding from an area which I haven't bled from since those Nazis did that to me. So she
Oh,
started bleeding from her vagina again. And like, it just, like you said, very unpleasant things that they were discussing.
Scripting is just there's nothing as like kind of vile as that in Exorcist Believer. It's just
No.
Okay.
it
Not
kind
at all.
of-
It's kind of tame if you think.
Okay, so I'll ask you a
pretty-
provocative
but-
question.
Yeah.
Provocative question, James. Okay.
Oh.
Exorcist believer versus the Pope's exorcist.
Mm. Dun,
Well, I would
dun.
definitely say Believer, but
Okay, well there you go.
But you know, I didn't like the Pope's Exorcist.
I know.
Yeah, but you doesn't sound like you like believer that much either.
But at the same time, I think.
If there was a director's cut that was 2.5 hours, I would watch it. But the film is like some kind of, I don't know really. I just don't believe all of the business about like we paid 400 million for the rights and stuff. It's like so much bullshit. I think like when they've got rights with Peacock TV for these films.
Yeah, aren't they making a TV series or something?
No, there is already an Exorcist TV show which people have said is better than this, but I've never watched it.
Wow, I didn't even know.
It didn't look. I mean, I've not watched the whole thing. There may be parts of it that are good, but it looked kind of a bit
I know. Dude.
too over the top for me. It had like people wrestling with each other in the back of some van in some foreign land, and I was just like,
That reminded you of your trip to Zambia.
no, just maybe this is not is this the Exorcist? I don't know. But
So
that's like Gina Davis. I think Gina Davis is playing Reagan. Or don't keep bringing up Zambia now, especially.
No, but I do want to ask you, James, when you went
I mean,
after
the person I stayed with in Zambia is not alive anymore. for
No, I'm
God's sake.
sorry, but
Not
when
that
you
funny, is it?
no,
I didn't
I'm making
know
fun
that.
of that.
I'm
but
sorry.
Did you? I'm not. This is not a joke. I promise you.
Damn you, Voltaire.
Because I know you're a fan of the Exorcist films, when you were going to Zambia, did you think of yourself?
He goes back to it
Did you
again.
think of Richard Burton going to Africa at all, or did that come into your head?
That
at all?
was in my mind, yes, when I was on the plane.
Okay,
I'll
see, I
tell-
knew it.
How about
Okay.
this? One of the films I watched
Hmm.
on the way there, I actually had a sleeping tablet or two with me. I took them,
Sure.
and I was on the plane. I was just like this, and I watched literally 3 films on the plane there. And then one
Well,
of the
under
films,
the effects of a sleeping pill.
That's hilarious.
I don't know, but not sleeping really.
But
And then
not
the film was called Stronger. It's got Jake Gyllenhaal, who directed it. David Gordon Green.
Oh my
It's
god!
actually a decent film. He's a decent director, but I just let him make other films. It's like these studios are going, David Gordon Green, you've got to make this film. We can't get anyone else other than you. Like, why? There's lots of other people who could do this film better than me, probably.
You know what it is? Do you think they go to other people, they reject, and then they just end up coming back to the one person who wants to do it? You know what I mean? Like,
And then James, when-
That is possibly true, actually, Johnny. You've got a really good point. I think they're not respected, like, are they? You know, the legacy of films after The Exorcist.
yeah,
You would think, like, people are going, would say Exorcist 2 wasn't very good. Exorcist 3 was the only good one.
yeah,
But why do they want to make any more Exorcist films? Of course, the answer is they think they can get a success.
yeah. Or
Yeah,
recapture that lightning in a bottle, like the
So,
new
I think
Exorcist, you know?
Not well. I don't know about that, but I think.
well, look, people like things they know. They don't have to prove up the franchise.
I mean, this film was most
Mm,
definitely
yeah.
not trying to recapture anything.
No,
They were not. It had throwbacks to the original film, but they were
That's all.
really.
They were just using the name.
yeah,
You know, I mean, the show is about Father Mir. The movie's about.
Well,
Father
it starts
Mir.
off with a shot of him like taking photos of these 2 dogs fighting. And
Yeah.
you're thinking, oh, that's a good shot.
yeah,
I'm thinking, I've already seen it in the trailer.
yeah. Exactly.
And-
That trailer, man. Holy cow.
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know. It's just like, I did think this film was going to be a bit better than it was. Like, that is literally the first shot of the film. I was like, oh, for God's sake,
Mm-hmm.
put it in some context.
Exactly.
Instead, it's like, okay, we've got this timeless shot from the original film that people will remember of the dogs fighting. Just shove it in as the first shot and then explain it away by him being madly into photography. And then just turns out he's got a successful photography business. We don't know him. That's all you need to know. He just takes photos of people having a
Yeah.
great bloody time.
Hmm.
And he takes pictures of the girls having their communion. And it doesn't explain anything, really. It just shows him taking a photo or something like that. Or I don't know if it's him or if it's someone else taking a photo of the communion, but it doesn't really explain any of their involvement in
That was the problem I had with a lot of
religious
these
stuff or
films.
anything, really.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree with you, 100%.
I mean, Catherine's family, we don't really know anything about them. They just seem kind of roundly like dicks, basically. Well, the dad did a bit, seemed like a bit of a dick, but we didn't know anything about them to even be invested to that extent. So,
And to care about anybody and what's going to happen, you've got to be invested. You got to know some backstory, have some type of small connection, however, and then whatever happens to them, you can now feel empathy. You know? Oh my God.
what?
Comments
Damn.
in the chat about your
Yeah.
trip to Zambia are funny.
Well,
There is-
I don't appreciate this kind of stuff. It's
I
like
do.
when I was in Zambia, I wasn't walking around wearing a locust suit.
I will. What about when you were on the bus watching that Owen Wilson film? Did you feel like Richard Burton?
Oh
then?
yeah, no escape or that's actually a
Oh,
decent
my
film
God.
if you want to watch.
The Locust
That's a
Suit.
good B movie, right? And quite nasty in its own way. And then we watched this other one that's called Mad Buddies, which is a South African comedy about a white guy and a black guy and their escapades.
That sounds great.
Literally, and it's like I was watching that, I was going, "What the hell? What is this? 1987 or something?" When
Yeah, South Africa.
I said to Chancellor when the bus started, I
Is this
said,
Ishtar?
"Is this really going to happen? Is this really going to be on the whole bus
Are you
journey?"
kidding me? South Africa is a dangerous place. I mean, they got to get their comedy where they can get it. This is a place where you're not allowed to hold your cell phone
Yeah.
without it getting robbed or getting killed.
You got to get.
Yeah, I mean, whatever
comedy.
comedy they can come up with.
No, but I wasn't in. Anyway, that's
That's a
beside the
good
point. I'm talking about being in Zambia.
No, I know, but you're watching a
The-
South
the-
African buddy film.
No, I wasn't watching it. At what point one man had a pig's head on him, and I was like, I actually went up to the driver and said, "Can you turn this please off?"
Yeah.
And he said,
Did he tap the sign that says don't talk to the bus
No,
driver?
they were upset. They're like, "Oh, here we go, another British sex tourist trying to throw his weight around."
Oh,
here.
here's the white
Here
devil
comes the
trying to tell me what
colonist.
to do.
No, when I
You
first
know?
got on, there was like literally 45 minutes of basically religious singing stuff with people in like oversized suits standing in kind of rough field with no grass on them. I go, "Hey, Lord, hey, Lord, praise the Lord."
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, and I was
Go
just
on.
thinking, this is fucked. Pretty much like all religion, really.
Oh, come on.
No,
I know
it's not
you're a
quite
very
that. It's
religious
not
person, Johnny.
genuine.
Sorry.
No, but you never know. You know, some people believe in that stuff, and it's okay. Anyway,
I'm not saying it's not okay. I
course.
believe that they believe in it. It's just that I think
All right,
that
all right.
they're kidding themselves.
Stop it. So anyway, that's it. I'm looking forward to watching Believer on the 24th of October. Then I'll complete my run of these Exorcist films, which,
Yeah, it's really good.
if I had to rank them, number one, believe it or not, number two, then
What?
number three. I like number two. I'm not hating on number two as much as
Wait, your favorite one is number 2?
no. Number one is obviously the best.
Oh, okay.
But I got to tell you, number three is
say.
is a departure from the lore of The Exorcist, which the other three films, are the other.
If you've
two.
not seen Dominion, really, anyway, you need to watch that as well.
I will watch Dominion, but I mean, I'll give it another chance. But it's the same movie, as I understand it, as whatchamacallit.
No, it's the same in sense of the general idea, but you can see in a way how beginning just completely they went off in a completely different direction with their sort of commercial version of it,
Yeah, I'll watch it again. I'll watch it. I'll find it. Oddly enough, that one is not easily found for streaming. Like every other one was on one of the streaming services I subscribe to, but not Dominion. But I'll find it. Yeah.
Have you heard of a film on Netflix that's new? And has anyone watched any new films on Netflix? There's this one called Fair Play on there.
Fur Play.
For furries?
Oh, for God's sake. I'm just going to get some water.
What do you get exasperated about getting thirsty?
He's in his boxers again. He needs to wear pants at least in one show.
Anyway, so we can talk about Ahsoka while he's gone. I don't know if Phantom Cooper's still here.
Yeah, overall, I'll listen to your.
No, go ahead. I know you didn't care for it.
But I said I'd watch it to the end. Overall, I felt they more or less stuck to the landing. The visuals throughout were excellent. I cannot deny the visuals, the way it was shot. I had problems in the beginning. I felt it was just slow to get off. Ahsoka's arc, I felt still kind of weird. The kind of the Gandalf the White kind of thing. She became even more stoic, even more to herself after. It was weird. I like the charisma of Ahsoka in the shows. I know everyone says she's grown up and she's different, but that's what made me like Ahsoka, right? That charisma she had. I wish that was there.
Filoni decided to kill that for some reason.
For some reason, other than that, all the actors. Sadly, that one who passed away. Sorry, I'm really bad with names. He did an excellent job. People are now debating if they should recast him for the bad side. I'm sorry, he was one of the dark.
Who, Balin?
I believe so. Yeah, the one with the beard. With
the guy who died. Yeah.
Because that's the new debate now. That's the new debate now, Voltaire. They want to recast him, keep it going, and obviously he made such an impact as this actor before he passed. And so that's the kind of a side debate now. People are.
Well, no, they're gonna. I know what they're gonna do with that. They're gonna, he's searching for some other kind of thing with these father, brother, sister things. So I think he's gonna get absorbed in some power, and he's gonna transform, and so they're gonna use a different look for him. It'll be
I see
that the way that it is. But yeah, they had a good villain. He was the best part of the show.
Yes.
Which I think is important for Star Wars, proper villain. They had good lightsaber fighting.
Yes.
Which is good. The guy who played Ezra was perfect, and he clearly watched the cartoons and he tried to adopt the character as best he could. I'm glad we got to see some Ezra fighting. I don't know why they can't chop off zombies' heads and arms and stuff, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'm guessing they want to limit the chopping off of limbs, I guess, for a Disney Plus show.
I would
I
think
don't
so, probably, yeah.
Mhm.
And did you enjoy the Anakin? Again, he's back in this show too.
I
Now.
had no complaints about that.
No
Thought it was
complaints. Yeah,
fine.
me neither. Again, I'm not a
He's-
simp for seeing him on screen, but
You know
do
what I
enjoy it.
noticed though? I'm wondering if you noticed this. The way he talked.
Mhm.
He didn't try to hide his Canadian accent at all. Whereas in prior versions of him,
He would
you don't
put
hear
yeah.
hear the Canadian accent at all.
Hmm.
But now,
That's a
if you
good
watch
point.
that, it, you'll hear the Canadian accent.
Okay,
At
yeah,
least
I'm gonna-
I do, and I'm
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
Canadians will notice it.
yeah.
But he tried to hide it in the prequels. But he's kind of like let it rip now for whatever reason.
Mhm.
I didn't notice that in the Obi-Wan series in the one scene he did, but I did notice it here.
Mhm.
But it's good, yes. And yes, Phantom Cooper, she's older. They wanted to give her a more mature, like
No, I get
sage,
that.
like Obi-Wan type
Yeah.
thing. And she's been through a lot. I
Mhm.
get it, but you know what? She was almost like she was on Xanax. And by the way, I like the
90%,
actress. I was
yeah.
excited about the casting, but that's how she was directed. That's how she was told to play it, like this.
Yeah, exactly. She's great. I like her as an actress. She's an excellent actress.
Yeah. So I'm not complaining.
No.
I mean, I wouldn't have made her that. You know what I mean?
Maybe right into the end, maybe give her some charisma in the beginning. Maybe she makes a couple small mistakes. Just little things where you can kind of relate somewhat.
They wanted to make her like a master, and the master
right off the bat.
kind of
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's Ahsoka. She's been
I know.
around for a long time.
It's very true.
I didn't bother me, and like when she fought like that, the guy who turned out to just be a ghost. The way she beat him very easily, I like that because they did a good job showing Jedi's powering up and all that kind of thing.
Mhm. Yeah,
So-
no complaints here.
That's
What would
fair.
you give, at the end of the day, Voltaire, what would you say this first season out of 10? What would you give?
Because they brought Jedi lore back into Star
Yeah.
Wars, which they took away from us and they haven't produced, I have to give it at least an 8.5 to a 9.
Okay, I'm going to give it probably a solid 7.5.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
A lot
I'm
of
on the
people
same
feel like
wavelength.
a lot of people think it's mediocre. I get it, but I just don't.
Mediocre to me, Voltaire would be 5. 5 is just average. It's
Well, a lot of
one
people
time.
feel like it's a 5, not you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Star Wars fans out there who don't like it.
Oh,
But I think those people are just complainers and they're just
Mm-hmm.
so sick of Disney Star Wars. And you know what? There's also some people who, let's face it, they didn't like it because it was a woman-centric show. You know, the male
well, see, that didn't
hero.
bother me whatsoever. I love
No,
that.
me
I'm
neither.
a huge,
But
yeah,
there
I'm a
are
huge
some
fan of
people who
that.
don't like
Yeah.
that.
You're a huge fan of women.
Yes, I am. I'm a champion of women. Yes.
But similar to Morrissey in that he often uses now these photos of himself like 20 years ago to promote his shows.
What the hell is that? Wait, what do you want
I don't
about?
know.
What's that got to do with anything?
Johnny's photo is like 10 years old.
Oh, I see.
I knew he was going to say that.
Why did he put it up then?
I like it. That's a good photo.
I mean, he likes you on camera. He thinks you look fine. So, you know, he's not trying to. He's browbeating you, but I mean, it's from a good place.
No, it's not. It's coming from a place of like, I've asked people to come on the camera loads. It's just a question, that's all. And then they just don't. So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it just seems unfair, you know.
All right.
It's like an unequal relationship.
All right.
It's like, what am I getting? I want to see the people who come on.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, what was
But
this?
if you say you're religious, be religious.
Okay, stop it. So, what was this furry movie about furries having sex orgies? Is that the movie you saw?
Oh, yeah, that's where we left off.
If you've not seen the same thing, there's no point discussing it, is there? It's not because it's not just a solo James show.
What is it about?
Bear in mind, my solo show recently got the most views of any of my shows.
Oh,
And
congratulations.
some people commented saying, "I live for these shows." So,
That's very
you know.
kind of that. That must have been very
Well,
gratifying.
you should, yeah. I mean, it just gave me a massive boost to my ego. It made me think I am fucking brilliant.
Good.
That's great.
Put some lead in your pencil, as they say.
Yeah. Yeah, Fair Play is something that Britt Marling recommended.
I mean, I'm not seeing it on Netflix. FUR Play?
Pardon?
What's the? Could you spell it? I'm not seeing it on Netflix. I'm looking for it.
Do you not know how to spell fair?
I am spelling fair.
Also,
Is it 2 words? Fur play?
Johnny, be quiet, please.
Sorry.
It's not coming up. It's not coming up. Maybe it's on UK Netflix only then.
FAIR, second word.
Fair play. Why? I thought you were saying fur.
Fur, yeah.
No, you didn't. You're just making fun of my accent.
No, it sounded like fur. That's what I was saying, furs.
Like now.
Your pronunciation sounded like you were saying.
I'm supposed to treat everyone on here with like flipping kid gloves, whereas you're calling, basically calling me a wanker every time you come on.
Yeah, indeed.
It's not normal, is it?
Come on, James.
Yeah, you say hello, wanker.
Hello,
Wanker.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. Actually, there's a show coming on called Bodies on Netflix. I will say, like after the whole COVID thing, which is still not finished, of course, but
No, yeah.
like it could be going on for the next 100 years. But there are a few things popping up now on Netflix that kind of would make people think, well, it's okay for a subscription. Like it did have this patch where it just seemed absolutely dire.
Yeah, because it's like Stranger Things, Wednesday, and then what else?
Well, yeah, but the thing is, those get over promoed. Those are overhyped and everything, and they're not necessarily worth the hype, are they? Like, there's a lot of things on there that sort of this new thing is called The Fall of the House of Usher, which is 8 episodes, for instance, and it's another one of these Mick Flanagan films, or who did the original The Hill House, The Haunting of Mike Flanagan, sorry.
Oh, The Haunting of Hill. Oh wait. There's 2 of them, so I always get them mixed up.
Yeah, I know. There was a second one, and I just thought, oh god, they're overdoing this now. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Like Mike Flanagan, I'm not really a massive fan, but I did think The Haunting of Hill House was decent enough for what it was. Not particularly scary, but it conveyed a kind of spooky, eerie mood,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Basically, Britt Marling recommended recently in a talk she gave, a patron thing that I've not heard, but she mentioned this film Fair Play, and I thought, oh, okay, it's going to be good then. Watched it, and I was just thinking, what's she recommending this for? She's doing a screening of it. I mean, it's
a
okay.
friend of hers made it or something.
Yeah, no, it's not that. It's just that she got a free screening of it. She came out of it and she said,
yes, people will tend to promote something if they get it for free.
So, it is a decent enough film. I liked it, but you'd have to see it really to discuss it. It's hard to really convey exactly what issues I have with it, where it seems a bit lacking in characterization. Like when both of the main characters, this couple, are both vaguely unlikable and can be very nasty towards each other. A lot nastier than me, for instance, like they're literally, thrusting knives at each other and, all sorts of antics. You just think, what the hell's going off, really? But the most recent thing I did watch was the film Reptile. I thought that was at least watchable. It did have, what's her name in it? Is anybody here? Or was everyone?
Yeah. I'm listening.
Oh, I just got some water. Sorry.
Yeah, Sky Ferreira, who was in Twin Peaks, where she's itching her armpit. She's literally in a very similar scene in this, and I thought the whole film played a bit Twin Peaksian, really.
But she's itching her armpits in it?
No, just the scene itself. She's sitting in a booth, like in a bar that looks, and the way it's filmed and everything is very like rich, deep colors, similar to how things are in Twin Peaks. So
that's nice.
So James, do you want to talk about the Barbie movie for a little bit?
I don't know. I don't know what you can. I feel a little bit like resistant to talk about it when you're just saying that you wanted to smash the screen up or something like that.
Well, that movie I watched only 20 minutes of. I enjoyed that first 20 minutes.
There's nothing to talk.
What I was going to say is, as soon as they got into the real world, that's where it kind of lost me.
I saw it in the cinema. It took more than 20 minutes to get into the real world.
Okay, when they did finally get maybe 30 minutes, that's when it was actually very entertaining in the Barbie world. I laughed. Michael Cera made me laugh. Ryan Gosling was funny. And I thought the idea of what they presented was good, but then I don't know why I lost all interest as soon as they got to the real world. That beginning was so colorful
You
too.
don't know why though. What? You've got to think. Why did you? What exactly?
I'm sorry, am I
Triggered
really
your
high right now, or
emotions?
are you sounding like this? I'm tripping out. Like, oh my God,
Pardon?
your voice is very low. Did you put an effect on?
No, not that. That's not happening again, is it? I had this. No, this is not something that I'm doing. It's a real.
Oh.
Is it
yeah,
better
sounds
now?
perfect now. No, I thought you were.
Is it better now? So
Millie
you didn't do that
balls
by
have finally
accident.
dropped.
What's with you?
You see Millie's comment? His balls have finally dropped. My
That
God.
might be true.
Hey, Millie, you can leave your husband and come here anytime you want.
Oh, that's very
If you
kind.
want a real man.
Oh, well, come on. You don't know her husband. It's one thing to invite her and try to court her, but there's no reason to
I
not
like
her
that,
husband.
James. He's just
You just tell her, Millie,
just
open
presented it. I
invitation.
like
Come
that.
on down,
That's good.
sweetie.
That was good,
but-
James. Oh. He's like basically saying, drop that zero, get yourself with the hero. It's basically what he's saying.
Well, many people at the moment are coming to the UK, so
Oh, I love
they've
them.
realised it is actually much better than superior to the USA. That's
I would probably agree with that, yeah.
definitely. I mean, especially our kind of life that we're having here. Like, fucking hell. Fucking hell. Look at that. That really fat woman.
What are you on about? What heavy? What fat one?
I
You
lost
played it, for God's sake. Olive oil. Do you remember it?
Olive oil was thin. What are you talking about?
My voice sounds normal right now, okay?
It does.
Good.
Yeah, I would tell you if it was bad.
What are we talking about now? Anyway, Barbie, you've watched the first 30 minutes or something and then you turn it off.
Yes.
Well, we can discuss it again more at a later date when you've watched the whole film.
Continue the rest of it. I want to complete it, yeah.
Just you did actually enjoy it then.
I'm not gonna lie. I did enjoy when they were in how it's okay. There's
Were you watching it illegally?
No. I actually streamed it, or I got it. You just streamed it, whatever.
You said that in a very accusatory fashion.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's terrible if people do that.
I thought it was visually was
Well,
stunning.
I have done it myself many times.
The way the sets looked, I'm not gonna lie.
When I did it, I actually took myself out into the backyard and whipped myself.
Like in the back. These.
Yeah, lacerations.
But James, would you agree with my
blood
point
pouring
of view
onto my balls?
Would you agree about the visuals? They were the way they stood out. Like,
I think what I liked about it was it had a sort of lo-fi aesthetic, even though the film was very evidently high budgeted. So the road was kind of like, is this real?
Yeah.
How are they doing this? Is this CGI? No, it doesn't look largely CGI at all. So that interested
they built
me.
it. Yeah, I like that. Like they built the whole.
But watching it in the cinema, I was like thinking, this is my last chance to see this film. I'll go and see it. And I think it was during this phase where I was not feeling too well. So I was probably like, okay, just something daft. And yeah, I probably like yourself, I didn't really find it that funny. That was my main issue. I mean, there were things that I was laughing at it in a general sense, but it seemed so divorced from any kind of reality, even more so. I mean, the parts where it goes into the real world as such, it's not real at all, even.
It's still got that
feeling. It doesn't feel real. It's just everything about it is artificial, and they repeat the same jokes throughout it quite a bit, like the Barbie that's been screwed with, like with the hair cut off and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, she's always good.
She's funny, that actress from Saturday Night Live.
I mean, she's always good, but she almost feels like she's in a separate film, and it's just.
Well, she's a screen stealer. Yeah, she'll when she's on.
Kate McKinnon, the whole film feels like kind of just it's sort of trying to be not too offensive or anything like that, because obviously it's playing to a pretty mainstream audience, and that's the secret of its success. But that means that a lot of the jokes in it are fairly tame, like they're fairly sort of.
Like I liked in the beginning how they were all trying to get Barbie's affection and how Ryan Gosling lives for her just to acknowledge him. I kind of thought that was funny because he's a good actor, how he portrayed it. And then Michael Cera had a zoom in moment where I laughed, where he said something.
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty funny. Michael Cera got the first laugh out of me. That's what.
Well, he said, "I'm Alan," didn't he?
Yeah. So yeah, because he wasn't one of the Kens, right, or something. Yeah,
There's literally one Alan, and then there's no Kens basically. So
yeah, but it had something there, you know. They're funny, you know. But and Margot Robbie, she's very charming to watch, very pretty.
Sure, yeah. I mean, the film later on, there's a part where they say, I mean, everyone in it is good looking, aren't they? Even Michael Cera is good looking, really.
He actually got
in his own way, probably. But I mean,
he got ripped for this.
No, he didn't. He just looks average. He's not ripped. You don't start seeing Ryan Gosling, for God's sake.
Yeah, compared to Ryan, yeah, okay.
He's like, you know, the ladies love Ryan Gosling, but I do think his performance is excellent. I mean, he conveys just the idiocy of Ken brilliantly. But there's a later scene where Margot Robbie's got no makeup on as Barbie back in Barbie World, I think. Oh. And they're all saying something like, "Oh, you look worn out. You look not, you don't look good," or something. And then it comes up, flashes on the screen. NB, this is not very true when the actress is Margot Robbie in the film. Note to producers.
I know. Yeah.
It's kind of difficult to make her look bad, isn't it? Or make her look like, you can't make her look kind of unattractive. So,
well, if they gave her the Kate McKinnon treatment, or how they put her hair, how they cut her hair like all like messed up, and she had her makeup all messed, and she was like the defective Barbie or something. I forget what her character was.
She was the broken Barbie.
Yeah.
Doing the splits constantly.
Constantly.
I mean, it's like aimed really at like 12-year-olds, though, isn't it? The film as a whole.
Yeah.
I mean, that opening, the opening sequence is good, but I'd seen it before because it was used on an ad. So
exactly, yeah.
It's used on a trailer.
Mm-hmm. And then no one here has seen any of the John Wick movies, right?
No, I tried.
I would watch them all.
You wouldn't. I watched the first one.
Oh, I would. The other night I was watching like ITV4, which is a channel here. They had like the remake of Death Wish, and I was sitting there thinking, this is quite a well-made film because it was showing in like very wide ratio, good quality, better quality than when I saw it on a different streaming service a few years back.
Wow.
And I mean, okay, that is like, I don't think anybody's kind of stepping out of the way or stepping forward. I mean, to say this is a great film.
Was that with Bruce Willis?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's well made. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
It's entertainment just for the sake of entertainment. I mean, it's got Vincent D'Onofrio in it from Full Metal Jacket.
Which is sometimes you want, sometimes you just want to sit down, let me just enjoy.
Well, yeah, precisely. That's what the John Wick films are probably like, I would imagine. But people, Mark Commode has said the actual action scenes in it, they are effective, for instance.
They're incredible because behind the scenes, James, they have everyone legit, like ex-CIA officers.
He says like it goes from A to B to C to D. It's like it's cumulative. It has a succession, not just like a lot of action films now, like I don't know, some of these Fast and Furious spin-offs, or actually, he was talking about Expendables 4, which is done badly at the box office apparently. But regardless, I'm sure it'll do okay at home, But the action in that, it's like totally nonsensical.
See, that's what I mean. If you can build a scene that makes sense, and then, like I said, James, it's so well choreographed. If anything, if you go into not even caring about the plot and just want to enjoy the action, you're going to enjoy the action. That's all I could say. What were we going to say, Voltaire? You saw the first one?
I saw the first one, and then he just gets he went into that nightclub and he was just beating up so many people on his own. It got boring for me. I don't know, but yeah, I get I get the appeal of the movies.
But Keanu Reeves can actually do that. Whilst he was preparing for the film, he actually came to Derby and would go into Weatherspoon's pubs and things. You know, that's the
Start fighting.
cheapest sort of like pubs you can find, and then he'd buy like a pint of Carlin or something, and then just glass people.
He sees
Like
Josh.
giving dirty
They lock
looks
eyes.
Someone actually went into one of those and stabbed a guy right in the neck.
Oh shit!
Jesus.
Yeah,
Fuck.
Was that
he
in
did. He
Lancaster?
lived, but
Okay, good. That's good.
sorry.
Was that in Lancaster?
No, that was in Derby. It was someone who was begging, and they refused to give him money. Something along those lines. Pretty very unusual incident, but when I read about it, I was like, I was the same reaction as you. Yeah, you know, it's not like a massive city like London, where you know, there's too much anger and tension about, isn't there? And
Very much so.
people taking it out on other people,
On
just
the wrong
randomly.
people. Yeah, exactly.
But I think, you know, you could look at our culture today, you know, and films like that, John Wick, on a different sort of, you know, a different way of looking at it, even though they are entertaining films, even that Death Wish film, and you might say, are they just sort of like escapism for its own sake and needlessly violent, which in itself, I mean, David Lynch would agree on this with a lot of TV violence, that it's just nihilistic, you know, it doesn't perform any kind of purpose, does it? It's just violence for its own sake. And that can breed that in people. I do think that. I don't think films are just completely innocent. Obviously, they have an impact. People have their own responsibility.
But David Lynch has also said that it's better to put that onto paper, into a film, all that, you know, negative, whatever, than to have it happen, you know, in real life, you know. Because in film,
he didn't put it quite like that, but he was saying that, talking about TV and how a lot of the violence on TV is incredibly just pointless and sort of without any consequence. I don't think you can really describe anything in David Lynch's work as being violence with no consequence whatsoever.
Exactly. Yeah, I would agree with that statement. Yeah.
There's always like a massively strong consequence of anything, really, even escalated, you know. So, I mean, look at Lost Highway. I mean, that's probably one of Lynch's less popular films in many respects, I think. Apart from amongst the kind of cult hardcore who'll just post up, "Oh, Lost Highway, 5 stars, amazing," and all this, you know.
Well, it is amazing.
But the average. Voltaire, I know you're trying to provoke me now, but so you sat down, you watched Lost Highway, and you immediately wrote on a pad, "Amazing."
No, but I rewatched it about 6 months ago, and I loved it again.
Well, it's a very enjoyable film in many respects, but at the same time, it portrays this sort of, I think it's, you know, portraying like a cycle of both, you know, anger and violence and everything, but the film it portrays it as just continuing beyond the end credits, really, doesn't it?
Listen, I could watch that movie scene by scene and break down each scene after we watch it and then put the movie back on. The movie it's one of his underrated films, in my opinion.
I would actually agree with that.
Exists. I love that movie. Is it amazing? I mean, look, it's got some amazing elements into it. I'm not embarrassed to admit that. You can get mad at me if you want, but
I agree with you. There's
some story structure. There's some scenes in it. There's some excellent surrealism, if you like that kind of thing from David Lynch.
Yeah, you can say about all of David Lynch's films. I mean, you know, they're all at least good. Whether they're amazing or not is a different matter. I mean, I would rate most of Lynch's films probably 2 out of 5. You know,
what the hell? What do you want about?
What? 2 out of 5?
So much Twin Peaks. I mean, I've been doing videos, for instance, with Cameron, like going over back now 10 years. And I said to him then, like, you know, Twin Peaks, it's okay, but is it that good? No.
Oh my God! What? You're really taking a heel turn on that.
Yeah.
No, I said that then, and I say it now. It's like, it's not bad. I mean, Twin Peaks pilot episode, 2 out of 5. Rest of the series, 1.5 out of 5.
Wait, what? Okay, now you're just talking nonsense.
Anyway, yeah, like for me, look at his
rest of the series. 1 out of. Come on, I can't let that go.
I rank his films as Firewalk with Me. That's number 1 easily. And then I got to tell you something. Number 2 is either going to be Mulholland Drive or Lost Highway. I don't know which one I would pick, to be honest.
You're actually right on that.
All right, man. That's me.
I will disagree with Johnny on that. I think you're wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure most people will
But I'm
say
only saying
Mulholland
that
Drive.
because I want to make you angry.
In fact, most people will
Not
say
put any
Mulholland
thought
Drive is
into the
his
actual-
best film. Even though that movie was not
shit
supposed to
disturber.
be a film and he had to put it together and fix it to be a film. It worked out for him.
Yeah.
I'm only looking at the reaction. That's all I'm interested in.
Yeah.
I would actually say Inland Empire.
I'm surprised you're not
best
into
film.
wrestling.
Best film.
Wrestling is
Oh,
just-
shut. See, now you're just trying to be provocative.
No, it is.
It is not.
He went all the way to Poland on a bloody
It's not
plane.
watchable. It's
Oh, come
barely-
on.
It's not
It takes
watchable.
like
I
at
want
least, I
someone
don't
to
know, how long
recut-
does it take?
I want
10
someone to-
hours?
I want someone to recut
That's commitment,
Inland
all right.
Empire.
Have some respect.
Yeah.
No, I want a fan edit of Inland Empire for someone to make it watchable because I don't think it's watchable right now.
What, how long would the fan edit be then? Like 1 hour?
maybe an hour and 45. It would benefit from some heavy editing.
Yeah, I
So-
think the 3 hour
all right.
version, it's not really designed as your average film, though, is it? It's
All right, Gary's right. I forgot about Blue Velvet, which is weird. All right, I guess I like Blue Velvet, but it doesn't have the surreal elements that I love about David Lynch's work. But
What would you
Yeah,
rank
come on,
Eraserhead?
man.
What about Eraserhead?
Eraserhead's up there. I mean, that's
Frank
in
Booth roaring, going
Yeah, I know.
in slow motion isn't surreal. Like, that's what
All
it
right,
was
well,
like
there's
growing up
little
for me,
bits of it.
actually.
I can't say that Blue Velvet's not an amazing film too. I mean, but do I like it better than Lost Highway? I don't know. I don't know if I do. You know? I don't know if I can rank after Firewalk with Me. I don't know if I can rank. So there's a
Just
group.
the
You know
nature
what?
of
I would go
locations
Firewalk
and
with
everything.
Me, Lost Highway, Mulholland Drive. I think the top three.
Yeah, and then Blue Velvet, but I don't know if I can rank Blue Velvet, Lost Highway, and Mulholland Drive and Eraserhead because all of them are brilliant and I love them all. So
It's true.
it's like I don't see flaws in those films. I don't watch those films and think, oh, what the fuck's he doing here? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I don't. Those movies to me are flawless.
For me, I'd go like Blue Velvet 1, 2, Twin Peaks pilot episode.
It's not a movie.
Of course it is.
We're rating the movies there.
So it is a movie.
It is.
Pilot episode. It was made as a movie. It was going to be a standalone movie if they didn't make the show.
But
And
they
he
did
made it
make
into
the
a European edit for release here. So it is movie quality if you watch it.
Definitely is
Seriously.
that for sure. I agree with that.
And if you watch the European version, it does
I've
have an
never seen
ending
that
for a film. You know,
Mm.
well, it's just got Bob doing a weird shit in the bottom of the hospital. You must have seen that scene.
I've seen that scene re-edited, but I've never seen.
Well, yeah,
it.
I'm not including that part in the. You've seen it re-edited.
Well, how they used it in the show, like
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, and then I would put like Firewall with Me after that, interchangeable with the pilot episode, and that's it. I'd leave it at that. Really, I don't know any other Lynch
You
movie.
don't think Blue Velvet? You wouldn't rank Blue Velvet even?
Blue
You said
Velvet
it was number one. Number one. And you
That's
don't
about
rank
it.
Lost Highway, then, is what you're saying.
All Lynch's other films to me are just like part of the Lynch collection, and they're just their own thing. But the thing that hooked me with Lynch was Twin Peaks. So
Yeah, but you don't think that like
Twin
Lost
Peaks
Highway
is
is
very
like,
much stemming. Twin Peaks wouldn't be Twin Peaks without Blue Velvet. It's just absolutely, it's like the ingredients for Twin Peaks, and then it kind of changed into that. So
So you don't think like Lost Highway is like a cut above like whatchamacallit, the Nicolas Cage film?
do I think Lost Highway is better than Wild at Heart? Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
It's a
It
cut
is.
above. Like there's just his peak was, right around there. And then of course,
I
Eraserhead.
think
is-
Wild at Heart is like really. It's almost incredibly self-indulgent in a sense, but with Lynch, you kind of just go, okay, that's fine, because if you watch some of the deleted scenes as well from that, which are all available, but like some of those are just as good as the stuff in the film, really, because it's just made up of a whole collection of random scenes. But the things like with Crispin Glover making sandwiches, which is pretty unnerving and funny. I mean, you can see that should have always been in the film, of course. So
It's so weird. Like Wild at Heart is not available for streaming anywhere.
it's like, what on earth does it have to do with anything? I mean, it's just so you can see in the way the ingredients for instance, Inland Empire were always there with Wild at Heart in terms of just random stories and random characters and things like that. Lynch has always loved that, hasn't he? Really?
yeah, I agree.
But But yeah, Inland Empire is enough to test anyone's metal because you go to the cinema and it's like, or you watch that at home even. I remember seeing that in the cinema and just thinking, I don't know if I can take 3 hours of this. Really. I mean, I love Lynch as a filmmaker, but this is really hard going, you know.
Yeah, well,
people talking right next to the camera and then talking about like quite disturbing things, sick sort of ideas, and just these intense scenes where you don't really know what the hell's going off half the time. But it's like with Cameron, he said that Jenna Lynch said to him that was his worst. That was, well, she maybe said to her dad, but she said to Cameron that it was his worst film. But yeah.
Indeed. I think Cameron tried to do a rewatch of it live, and he couldn't get through it, I don't think. I don't know. It's not...
Well, I was going to show you that Cameron teaser thing for his Queen of Hearts.
Yes, please.
Remember? But
Yeah. It's getting late, too, so let's get
yeah, but Johnny put me off by talking about Furbies.
Well, now I'm watching the Crispin Glover sandwich making scene because...
He says you've got to watch Furbies, the movie.
Is it Furbies or Fairbies?
Let's not get into that again.
You've muted yourself.
Yes.
You've muted yourself.
First with the voice change, and now you're muting.
What the hell's going on?
I think your computer is like AI turning on
Now
you.
it's your computer's mic. It's not your mic.
Yeah, it's a different mic.
Why is this happening?
Good pickup
Whatever,
on the ear.
it's fine.
I
It's
think
not
about
doing
it as a pile of shit.
Okay, no, I think you're okay now.
Getting really angry right now.
No, that's
It's quite clear you are.
Yeah, it's like comes unplugged through no reasoning of mine.
See,
Anyway,
Debbie, do you really appreciate
yeah. I
it?
was thinking,
After 4 viewings, do you really appreciate it?
or have you kind of just accepted it by that point?
Yeah, or you just not hate it? Like you kind of start to see what's going on a little bit. I mean, God, it took you 12 hours of viewing to come to that conclusion. You know?
Yeah, think about that.
so
What is happening?
I guess we'll wait because he's going to show us that camera.
Yeah, but he's left his own stream.
He should be able to come back.
I can find Queen of Hearts trailer. I mean, what? So he's doing another film? Good for him.
Yes, I believe it's part 2, basically.
Good for him. That was a big deal for him.
Yeah, we can hear you now, and we can see you.
all right, sort this up.
Your mic is really
Low.
Yeah,
It's
low.
Getting back now. Oh, Dune. We've never mentioned Dune. I think Dune is excellent. Again, it's one of his most unappreciated. I don't even know what to say. I enjoy Dune.
That has become a very widely shared opinion amongst complete douche waffles.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, come on.
No, after watching Villeneuve's Dune, I went back and rewatched Lynch's Dune.
Yeah.
And I didn't hate it as much as I usually do.
Dune really is good, you know.
No, it's not good. But after watching Villeneuve's Dune,
I agree with Johnny, actually, despite
Thank you.
what I was saying.
It had a
I think
tremendous
actually
cast.
good film. It's just, I think it could have been a 3-hour film or something, you know.
And there's a fan edit that's free on YouTube that has all the extra scenes kind of put in. Excellent. It's one of my favorite cuts.
Yeah, but they're just drawings, though, aren't they?
No. It's all the deleted scenes put into the movie.
right.
Yeah. It's really done really well.
I'm talking about the Alan Smithy one. So,
Oh,
yeah, Lynch took his name off it.
I know.
and you're wrong. The Villeneuve Dune is brilliant. I love it.
No, I disagree with you on that.
I love it. And I'm looking forward to the second.
His
one.
movies like Blade Runner are so wide and epic in scope. It feels so dead and so unalive.
I love it, and I'm
It's
gonna go.
not
I'm going to
bustling
see.
with
I'm
life.
going to see Dune 2 in IMAX. I will go to the theater for that one. I'm looking forward to it.
I know. I'll have to see it too to complete it. Be a completionist.
Even though you didn't like the first one.
Yeah, just to see how he
He's
finishes it.
dead and not alive. But I'm going to go and see the second one. Doesn't make any sense. Save your money and go and see something else.
Don't tell a man how to spend his own money.
Well, I'm trying to help him.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah,
Maybe you should,
maybe I'll stream it or something.
think about what you're saying first before you say it.
Take the comment off the screen so we can properly see it, would you?
I'll just leave this one on. That's a good one from Gary. Thanks.
Because you were muted. He was trying to help you.
Well, it wasn't helping, was it?
He was trying to give you the help you need.
Can I say, Gary, you weren't helping, okay?
Take his comment down, I said.
Want? I don't want it. I need it. Especially after that. This is just my little opinion on this, anyway. Don't go round the back of Millie's house and film in this like completely
Stop it. This is
neighborhood.
It looks like that's the ocean off in the horizon there. This has
got nothing like this is not Twin Peaks.
No, he just likes the long shot. Yeah, it looks like it's ominous. What's the soldier? What was the full point of the soldier?
It's just a soldier they found.
We know what that is, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I just think I'd say if I was going to suggest to Cameron, and he'd say, "Shut the hell up." Like, I think don't film anything which is not relevant to Twin Peaks. Basically, it's just putting these things and then the shoving it in an actual shot from the film, from the show itself. It's just. But I know this is not necessarily supposed to be taken as some kind of thing that he spent ages doing by any means, but yeah. But I think by all means, like Cameron could make something which is an improvement upon Queen of Hearts as his next thing. So just by the law of how things go for people creatively. Don't you agree? No.
I mean, I like what he did with the lore. I stand by that.
What with the baby Laura or the young Laura?
Whatever. I like the way he did it.
Well, when I say something and I'm trying to be helpful, don't respond with whatever. Okay? This is my show, okay?
That's fair.
And I'm doing this for you.
You've been saying that for so long, dude.
No, but it's true. I am doing it for you. And,
he's very selfish.
Who's the you in that? I want to know who's the
everybody.
You.
But just being wildly abusive throughout it.
Is he looking in a mirror and he's going, "I'm doing it for you, James"?
Like American Psycho or something,
Yeah. Voltaire's daily routine. I'm kidding.
So I don't know. I don't know why would you do a follow-up to Queen of Hearts? I can't answer that because obviously it's Cameron's thing, but I would do like a continuation, but just call it something else for me.
What do you mean? Why would he do it? He wants to. He added to the lore and he wants to continue telling the story. I mean, that's fine. What's wrong with that? I'd watch it as would you.
Yeah, but I do think it's important that it's got to be superior to the last installment. That's all.
Is that how it goes? Just like Exorcist 2.
Because I was.
So you think
I was vocal about saying that I wasn't totally sold by the ending of Queen of Hearts. I was complimentary throughout the whole thing generally.
Then you shit on the ending.
Yeah, I did that merely just for dramatic effect, obviously, and to be an unpleasant person generally.
Bit of a cunt, yeah.
No, I was actually just giving an honest opinion, okay? But
honest,
I didn't want to see another ending at that house, the Palm House. That's like making a Blue Velvet tribute film and then just like ending it with Jeffrey shooting Frank. It's the same thing again, or another character shooting another character in the head at point blank range. It's just you've got to go somewhere different with it, otherwise it's just the same thing repeated. That's my opinion. My opinion as a big Twin Peaks fan. So
you're entitled to it.
My proximity to having known Cameron for a long time and everything doesn't really make here nor there, does it? Really?
No, you gave your honest review. I mean,
I always said how much I like Caroline in it.
whatever. Cameron made the film. He put it out there. He can't be too upset if people didn't or have some kind of critique of it. I'm sure he understands that as a creative type. That's what happens when you put your stuff out in the world.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, I had one of a very prominent role in it. So,
Yeah.
as the guy saying about sweet butter chicken, I mean, that is, many people would think, well, you're going to just say that the film is good.
Well, I love the deleted scene of
Because of
your head floating in a bubble. Not too many people got to see that. It was excellent. But
Yeah, you mean the scene that was just after when they're at the Palmer house?
yes, your head floated by. Blue road.
My head floated by wearing a wig.
Yes. 80s stuff.
So that some people say that should have been left in as a sort of.
I agree.
Uh,
the questions that it would raise. You look up.
well, I've actually said, especially with the news today as well, they should include that scene.
Yeah.
But make a CGI bubble, and it's two CGI bubbles.
Yes.
One is Piper Laurie's head, and then both the
God.
bubbles meet, and we're kissing with tongues and everything.
Oh my God.
And then it comes up on the screen. The end.
That was so dark and sad and
Tongues and everything, eh?
beautiful at the same time.
Dark, sad, and beautiful. That's all you can hope for.
Really? Yeah.
Well, some people anyway.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it's all right. I think I give Cameron a massive thumbs up, though. I will say, just to be clear about doing something more. I really think he should do.
Yeah.
Especially in response to what you're saying, Voltaire. Like, if you feel the urge, you should do it, creatively speaking. Because at the moment, I'm trying to make a bit of a short film, you see. So
Oh, good for you.
That's excellent. That's awesome.
it's like Amityville Derby type of thing.
The other thing I liked about Cameron, the whole
That's
project.
not a joke,
was-
by the way.
No, I know you are.
No, I know you're making a film, and that's good.
But do you think
should-
calling it Amityville Derby is a bit insane? Because then
Are you
people-
entering it into that contest?
What about
or
like
whatever?
Amityville
Film
D
contest,
or
buddy.
something?
or it's just part of something? I don't know what it's going to be part
What's the
of.
deadline for that? I thought, hasn't that been going on for a while?
That's a good question.
By December. So
Well, you've got to get cracking.
yeah, I know, but
Are you aware that it's October 15th?
I know what I'm doing with it and everything. Yeah, it's all right.
Have you
It either gets done okay or it'll go tits up. That's it. That's about
have you
all.
sorted out who's going to be in it? Like,
It's not going to be a bloody massive production, is it?
Starting
No, I
off
know,
good.
but are you
Budget
gonna-
film
like, are you
with
gonna
me
try
in
to
it,
get-
basically?
I know you're going to see Rob Egger. Are you going to try to get him to cameo in it or something?
Or just film without.
Yeah,
him
I'm
knowing.
going to go with and see Josh and Rob Egger and go, can I just film you two? And then just put that on at the end of the
Yeah,
film.
don't even
right?
We'll
tell
have
us
them
it's film.
speak a scene like, bloody hell, what was that out there in the sky?
Look.
It was
Oh
like
yeah,
a
I'm
possessed
definitely going to ask Rob
alien.
Egger on the spur of the moment when he's first met me. Can you act to film a scene for me?
You don't tell them. You just kind of be like, "Oh, what's that in the sky?" And you just get them to look up.
Did you see his latest video complaining about YouTube?
No.
He's done one since then as well.
Oh, has he really? Oh yeah, what he's up to?
The censorship or his?
No, it's about Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh right, I started watching that.
Oh.
Look, I love Revenge of the Nerds, and not just because it's the first time I've seen a woman's body, especially the downstairs part.
That was your Butters moment.
That was my Butters moment. But it's his analysis of it was really, because I started watching it, but I was at the office. And I was like, I have to sit down and actually watch this. Thank you for reminding me, James. I forgot. to
Hasn't
go
that
back.
become a controversial film over time?
Well, he points some of that stuff out, but he doesn't. Look, I love his breakdowns. I really do. I just think he spends too much fucking time on The Shining in 2001.
It's too silly to be controversial. I mean, is that the film when they're talking about like saying hair pie or something? I
Yeah,
mean,
hair pie.
what does that even mean? Hair pie?
A woman's pubis area.
It's just the idea of
And then
eating
because
is
it's
like
in a
hilarious
triangle
to them,
shape,
basically.
right? A woman's
Let me just
hair
keep on
down there
saying
is
it.
in a triangle.
Oh, it looks like a slice of pie. Yeah,
Therefore, it's hair pie. Yeah,
Mm.
correct.
yeah, it makes sense if you're completely insane.
I know.
No,
It
no.
does kind of.
It
yeah.
doesn't. It makes complete sense to me.
No, I get it.
And I wonder now because I like women to have a little bit of hair down there. I wonder if it's because of that Revenge of the Nerds film.
I
You
prefer
actually
women
put that
to
on your
have
dating
no hair
profile.
down there.
No, but when I start dating them, I go, "That's not enough. Let's go.
Can you grow
Get
more,
that
please?
growing."
Oh my god.
Grow
I
it
bet
up.
you start putting on that.
It's too much.
I got this stuff that's like for thin hair, you know. and you just put it on your hair, and it kind of probably has minimal effect. But do you say to them, "Can I put some of this on your bush?"
No, Rogaine is proven to work, so
you can't stop putting Rogaine on a woman's vagina.
No, they don't need to.
This conversation is going to arrive.
Some do. Some do.
No, I prefer.
No. We're going in the opposite direction. There should be no hair down there. I'm just saying.
No, I mean, look, there should be. It shouldn't be out of control, but like the bikini line, like as though she was going to wear a bathing suit. Oh, stop it, Phantom Cooper. You paint me as a non-feminist. I'm a quasi. If you must know.
I don't want to end the video on all this. I think the show.
You asked what hair pie was. I was educating you.
Yeah, you did.
Maybe maybe some viewers were curious about that too, and now they.
I've got to say, Phantom Cooper is funny.
She's very funny. She's clever, even when she.
He is very funny. Yeah.
Definitely funnier than like someone coming in and calling themselves Nick Gare and me repeating it numerous times.
You said that multiple times. Come on.
Don't tell me you didn't.
Cameron told me. I didn't know.
So if somebody came in there with Mike Hunt.
You know when I do a video on my own, for instance, like it can kind of, it's difficult sometimes. And, you're not concentrating properly or something.
Oh, I know exactly what
I much prefer it. Like, for instance, I do want I do appreciate you two both coming on, even if sometimes I give you a hard time, but it's only meant in jest. That is the thing.
It's not, but I forgive you.
How is it not?
I'm just joking. See,
I've not said anything serious.
No, I know what you're saying.
No, James has said even when he says something cruel and whatever, it's obviously a joke, and you shouldn't take it seriously.
That's a shut up.
It's a free
That's
pass.
ridiculous.
Don't say anything. Then.
I don't say really cruel things. That's not true. I don't.
No, that's not. I wasn't accusing you of that. I was making a joke.
I mean, come on. Just recently, like to our viewers and stuff, like having Mandela Man come on for 1 hour, and then his brother in the background. The next thing, I'm like, okay, your brother was getting really annoying on those videos.
It can be triggering.
My brother's disappeared, and he's stolen my car. I'm like, what?
It can be. You know what it is too. Like he was the two of them were going through a manic phase. Who knows if it was enhanced by some other substances, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm not telling tales out of school. They talk about doing these other substances all the time.
But it's just because it's all over the place.
When you see that, when you see that,
it goes something really serious to him suddenly saying like,
"These dolls are."
I'm talking to this like AI girlfriend.
Yeah,
and I've sat there 10 minutes listening to him, and I'm thinking, this is all amazing stuff for a short.
And somebody stole his AI girlfriend.
But he's got two versions of the AI girlfriend because Teddy stole the phone with the original one.
Right, that's what it was. Yeah.
That is hilarious.
Oh my god!
I was literally thinking, like, Mandela Man, we've got to record this and stuff. We put it into this film because my film was going to be about me being made insane by the internet, basically. The kind of experience I have now, where, for instance, I timed out Millie earlier because because I felt bad about the thing I said.
No, because you're in love with her.
I'm not in love with it, but
James, if you're in school,
I apologize. I apologize for it.
Unrequited love. That's what
you're
that
pulling
is.
her hair if we're in school.
You're obsessed with poor Millie.
No, I do apologize if I said something offensive. It was not
an
needed.
attractive woman. That's okay.
She's one of the nicest people in this community of yours.
No, I can get a bit intense at times, and I think Mandela Man can as well. And
that's kind of why I like. It triggers
I like
you.
him for that. It does, yeah. It does.
His mania triggers you
when he starts pointing out like signs and stuff outside the hotel. I'm like, It does like play with my mind.
I saw that video where he was on. He goes, "Hey man, it's the Days Inn. I used to remember the sun was in front, not behind. Now it's like this. The Days Inn. Man, he was at a cheap motel in Florida."
Well, it's not only the Days Inn sign. It says the Days Inn sign is different to the original one.
Yeah.
And then also there's a massive pylon out there. So, clearly then. And then he starts looking at the CCTV on the hotel. And I'm like, and Phantom Goop says that's not even good CCTV, or someone was in the chat. My mind's just like this, like those, the pylons in Cameron's. You just
that sound,
It was
like you finished the video and you just sat there like this.
The last time, Johnny, you weren't here, but when James and I were on with him,
I've watched that video.
He was in a fugue state, and it was disturbing to me. and it's because he was away from home, him and his brother.
Come on,
and they
Teddy was acting disturbing on the.
They
videos.
they were off their tits, and he was in a fugue state, and he was out of control, saying that there was a white hat person coming or some shit like that.
I think what Millie's saying is she's suggesting that him and his brother, they set each other off. And the thing is, when his brother was around, he started acting like his brother because it's part of their bonding, isn't it? But then when he was just talking to me, he was really calm.
Yeah, I don't know what the blonde twins reference is, but
it was these two females, I think.
Nice.
I don't know if that was in England or not. And
that.
they would, they were like nuts, basically. There were these two silent twins. There's a film called that, which was made recently, which is highly recommended. But these other twins, I think they threw themselves in front of some traffic at one point.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, sure.
Took away any sexiness that I was.
Yeah, instantly gone.
Well, I mean, unless you like the film Crash, which I've never watched, because I find that deeply distressing.
It's not even watchable, in my opinion. It's stupid.
It's very weird, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, I wish him well.
But...
I was relieved to see that he was at an airport, and he was just argumentative. When people get
but seriously, you know, when he went to the airport, he said, "I've crashed my car 75 miles per hour into the back of another truck." And I went, "What? Are you serious?" And he went, "Yeah." God. And then he says, and he was talking to me, and he kept talking to the girlfriend, the AI girlfriend, and saying, "I'm going to pass out and stuff." And I was like,
"What?"
I was like, "Madonna, man, are you all right or what?" Like, and then he just eventually, he didn't realize he'd not finished the call. And I could still hear him, so I just hung up or something. And I can't remember if that was one of the videos he made, but I said to him, 75 miles per hour, that's what we say in, the UK. I thought you said kilometers there. And he says, no, 75 miles. I don't think he genuinely drove into the back of something else, but it was a moving vehicle.
They say miles, James, and we see kilometers.
He did that he had
75 miles an hour. If he drove into the back of a truck, he would be dead.
Yeah, because the
other one was moving. It's just completely unclear, of course.
And
he did have bruises all over here and bruises on him.
I just hope he didn't hit anybody. And just
75 mile per hour collision is super fast collision.
It was obviously exaggerated somewhat.
That's like for you people, like 120 kilometers, I guess.
Yeah, at least maybe even 140.
But then, he totaled the car basically. Shoot. So he had to then get taken to somehow the police spoke to him. Obviously, I don't know. None of it makes any sense. I can't.
No, listen.
Obviously, they have to allow him to get back, don't they? But
he thought he was speaking to a sentient AI, like the poor
that
guy.
That could make lightning.
I
don't want to repeat some of the things he was mentioning to me because he said, "Actually, don't repeat them." But when he was saying that, I realized that he was in a delusion because, I mean, I'm not going to repeat anything now because it's stupid and it would be stupid of me. But the thing is, he's just inventing things in his own mind and he thinks they're real. And then he's like, "Oh, don't tell anyone this." And then he was suggesting to me that I've got to edit all of him and his brother's videos. I mean, I don't think I've got the.
I think now that he's back at home and he's back into his own, he'll come out of that fugue state.
I thought he would, but I've been getting messages.
Died whilst he's away.
Voltaire, I've been getting messages even since he's been home that are crazy.
Is it?
Yes, he went to meet someone who he said.
Women,
but I don't know whether it's just. And I says, "You're not going to go and you're looking for drugs, are you, or something?" Because I mean, honestly, I don't think in the state he's in at the moment he doesn't need any drugs. But he's gone somewhere, and he sent a message to you. I don't mind mentioning this, and he's like saying basically, if something happens, this is where I've gone.
Yeah,
Jesus.
And I said to Johnny, don't, he shouldn't be sending you this, full stop. So I rang him up and said the same thing. I says, why are you sending this kind of stuff to Johnny, for instance? It's just completely nuts and irresponsible. And, you just hope some of it goes through, really. But he just played it completely down and said, "Oh, I'm just doing this thing like the way he wrote it was alarming, wasn't it?"
Very much so. That's why I have to show somebody. Yeah.
Well, especially when you know that the gentleman's been having some difficulties. So yeah, it is alarming if you actually have some feelings and you actually have some. See, that's the whole thing. You have some concern for him because you genuinely like him. So when you hear somebody like him say,
I've done videos with him where he's been. I mean, he's always been a bit in danger of going into just these states where it's and then he'll say, "I don't understand sarcasm, James," and I'm like, well. I'm not trying to be really sarcastic. I'm just trying to question you.
Yeah.
And yeah, he likes creating drama for sure. Like with these things, like sending a message to Johnny. He knows Johnny will tell me, pretty much. He likes creating that kind of chain effect, chain.
Yeah.
Reaction.
Well, a message like that, I just felt I had to show somebody because just the intensity.
Well, no, thank you. I thank you for showing it me because, I wanted to understand everything, and the fact that like I did that video with him a week ago or something, and then Voltaire came on halfway through, and Voltaire was explaining how he worked in a like more, dodgier area, and there'd be people coming into the office just saying, "Oh, I've got a claim," and like you can't distinguish fantasy from reality, and that's there are people like this. I mean, when people are on the edge, it's strange actually. It's like when you push people to the edge, or when they become very panicked or very worried about their circumstances, this kind of thing. That's when it can start happening. And as you describe it, a psychogenic fugue.
Right. But you see, I was the fact that he was able to get himself back to Chicago is a very good sign. That means he didn't. It's on. If you're at a tipping point where you are like that.
Yeah, but he sent photos of himself with his broadest smile on the plane, watching that new Wes Anderson film. What's it called? Atomic.
Okay.
And he was kind of like he was. Oh, and he told, like, the film Dressed to Kill, what I talked about a bit ago.
Yeah.
He did this zoomed in picture of like Teddy being on a newspaper because it was a reference to JFK's brother or something. And I was like, I didn't know that was in the film, okay? I wasn't referring to your brother. He's like, remember the dramatic chipmunk? It's just,
yeah.
But it's not, I realize,
the zoom.
To most people, it's not like I remember being younger and stuff, and people saying to me, "You don't want to try drugs, James. You don't need drugs." And I'm like, okay,
okay, okay.
But you just think, oh, okay, that's what I'm like, is it? And they just.
I don't know if that's like concerning or insulting.
Yeah, I know.
It's not either, is it? It's more just, it's actually.
Oh, you're off your tits and up. Don't try any of that. Don't get into the gear.
They're saying you're already a bit nuts anyway, so you don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Because you probably end up like, in a bad situation.
Well, so this is what I was concerned about with Mandela Man. And again, I don't want to be over dramatic, but like when people are in these fugue states like that, and he's away from home, this is how people end up like in really bad situations, like on the street type of thing. Like, they lose their support system. And
I liked how you made such a simple observation, but made it into something very true. I mean, you didn't make it, but you just made a clear observation, which is true. Like, you take someone out of their natural environment, and it can be something which sets people off down this other kind of lost highway, even.
Right. And then you spiral out of control potentially, and you're in again, this is, we're all based on having some kind of backstop or support system. And when you're away from home, you start to feel off. And if that starts spiraling too hard and you don't have that backstop or support system or whatever, things can turn very ugly.
You become like a nomad, you're just a wandering.
The idea, like you become no one almost. And to speak in an exaggerated fashion,
you lose yourself. You lose yourself.
Yeah. It's like when people go on holidays and things like this, like with my dad, it was almost like a running joke that he would be packing, like months before the actual holiday with bits of food and this kind of things. But in many ways, that's just sensible, isn't it? That's a way of like keeping your bearings.
Being planned,
like planning. Just a mental compass, preparing for things. Otherwise, if you don't prepare, then it's basically just like jumping into a furnace almost.
Yeah.
And Phantom, he thought thousands of people were watching his Facebook streams.
Yeah.
He thought he was getting a lot of traffic.
Well, he said it was like 900 to 1,000.
Yeah, okay. I thought he said thousands.
Which was a specific figure. And I was kind of like, all right, I'll just go and have a look. Oh, fuck's sake, block Gypsy Steinman. Ask him, why is your brother's profile called Gypsy Steinman. He says it's a name we made up together.
I thought he was going to name his band that or some shit.
But his brother was living rough for some area, for some time. Sorry, and
we are the Gypsy Steinman. Hello, Chicago. So.
Yeah, I mean, but it's just. Do you remember though when his brother was there? He would say to his brother, "Like, I'll be quiet for a minute, just will you, or whatever, you know." But Mandela Man, he's not really like a kind of really loud, sort of raucous person who will get angry so much, will he? He'll just.
Well, he'll have his moments when he'll let you know.
Or let's remember the guy's on a lot of medications probably to keep him calm because of his heart, right?
Possibly, yeah. I think it's just that something Josh was highlighting recently about on the best of 2 of Coffee Time. Remember when Sean started saying, "Well, what are you laughing at? What are you laughing at?"
Yeah, that was very sad.
That was Josh's fault, though, wasn't it?
Well, he turned it that we were all. He thought we were making him.
No, he said specifically Josh. And Josh was laughing at him. To be fair,
no, he even said to me, like, "Are you laughing?" Like, it's like, yeah, we're laughing along with you, but you know, it's not like we're just like mocking you. But he took it like everybody was just. One time, I posted something to him because he had sent me a video which I thought was hilarious, and it was some parody of Doctor Who, the Daleks, and they were gay. All right. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, it's very funny. And then they had announced, I think, that the new
Spike Milligan.
They had. He sent it to me too, which I mean, when we had shared a joke about it, and then they had made an announcement a few months ago about possibly a gay Doctor Who or something like that, or something. You know what I mean? So I posted to him on Facebook. I go, "Hey, Sean, finally," or I tagged him in a post. Finally, this is going to come to life in the real Doctor Who. And I posted that video. He goes, "What's all that about?" He got very offended.
Oh my God.
I posted this video and tagged him on it. Why are you tagging me on that? like wow. I don't. So sometimes, I mean, and he's a very, very nice guy, Sean. But, you know, I guess he's sometimes. And I said, "What are you on about?" We joked about this. And he goes, and he apologized and said, like, he's worried sometimes people mock him and that kind of thing. So, yeah, you know.
Yeah, I think he was just going through a stage where he was upset over.
He needs to learn to laugh at himself.
People taking the piss. No, Johnny, it's not that. No, it's not. That's wrong.
I think it's
Johnny. I mean, if you knew Sean, like he's got several of his front teeth missing, and it's like, so that kind of person he could be taken the piss out of easily, you know.
Okay.
And probably he obviously has experienced that if it triggered him that way. So.
We mentioned it on the videos before, and I asked him why, and he said, "I used to drink loads of sugary drinks."
No, wow. Holy cow.
You can't just go to a dentist here and just suddenly go, "I need loads of teeth put in, please, implant." And they're like, "Okay." Yeah, I do. Yeah, and so I do feel similar. I don't feel sorry for John, but I do feel a lot of sympathy for him in that kind of situation. Because he must have been stressed out about things. That's all it was.
Yeah, speaking of Sean, did you see that what's her name is engaged now?
What do you mean, who? Oh, Millie Bobby Brown.
Not Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah, she is, but yeah. James follows
Millie Bobby Brown's now got
Instagram.
4 children.
Jeannie is engaged.
Jeannie got please don't start bringing Jeannie up.
Well, she's engaged. Congratulations, Jeannie. You know?
She's not even watching.
No, but nonetheless, you know who she is.
Well, yeah, congratulations to her.
Oh, no. I've just got breaking news that Suzanne Summers has passed. That's very sad. Thank you, Cameron, for sharing that breaking news.
What do you mean? On Obnoxious Anonymous or something?
No, he's just messaged me on Facebook, if you must know.
Well, I know the name, but I don't...
Suzanne Summers? She's, what's her name from Three's Company?
Yeah.
Cindy from Three's Company, the blonde.
That was never shown in the UK, so...
Oh, my God.
Oh.
It's classic TV.
We missed out big time.
Big time. I mean, you got things like, what's that show Sean loves with those 2 idiots?
Bottom, you mean?
Yeah.
The show revolves around dick humor, smashing each other over the head. Like the young ones was like the intellectual version of it, and then they did Bottom.
I know Sean loves it. I tried to get into it, I just didn't. And I like.
It's okay.
I like British stuff, British humor, but not that show. I just never did.
There's no content. It's just like them arguing on the whole episode. That's it, really. Or going out to a pub or something and having the trousers pulled up too high. It's just ridiculous. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, Rick Mayo was good in anything, so. But
Oh my God, people are just disgusting. You gotta hang on. I'm gonna put something up on the screen. I want you to show.
This is a comment.
I'm not putting that comment up on the screen, you complete douche.
What comment?
I don't want to talk about it.
Look at this guy who put this picture up. R.I.P. Suzanne Summers. I think that's Dolly Parton. I mean, how is this honoring the woman?
Oh, wait.
Shame on you, shipwreck.
I don't think so.
I think Dolly Parton's smaller.
That is not Suzanne Summers. I mean,
can you right click?
Both of them must have been
Voltaire, right click on it and do a.
But what is the guy looking at, by the way?
Google search photo.
Did she have a nice brooch on or something?
No. See if it comes up the name.
Yeah.
You see a rally car driver. It's a very American photo, isn't it? You wouldn't happen down Derby, you know.
Oh, this is just like, yes, we know John Ritter is dead. No, they're together because they're both. Shut the fuck up, Carl.
You should reply with that. You should put "shut the fuck up."
Shut the fuck up, Carl. That is a terrible, like this is stupid.
You said put this is beta behavior.
Very attractive.
Shut the fuck up. Elon Musk would agree with me on this.
Yeah, she was lovely. Chrissy from. Oh well, that's a shame.
Well,
I can't believe this.
For God's sake.
Oh, she's got to be in her
80s, 70s.
No, maybe 60s, but I don't know about. Well, I don't know. Who knows? I don't know enough about the woman.
You know, sounds like you don't know anything about
her. I mean, what do you want me to do? I mean, she was on a sitcom from the 80s that I used to watch.
She was 76. She was 76.
Oh, wow. Okay, so she had a full life. She was smoking hot. She made some money. You know.
Looks like she'd had a bit of plastic surgery, no doubt.
Towards the end, probably. But whatever. All the best to her family and
was she one of these kind of celebrities who would be always on, like, you know, chat shows there and stuff? Or
I mean, I don't know. Towards the end of her career, she started doing like, I don't think she ever got another show, or did she? But she started like selling exercise equipment.
She was only married for 3 years. So.
Okay.
She said in 1965 to 68 with Bruce Summers, and she said, "That's enough of that. I don't want to get married anymore."
Yeah. Well, anyway.
No, but then she also made Step by Step, which inspired that song by New Kids on the Block.
Oh.
Step by step, oh baby, gonna get your heart.
Wow.
That actually means I want to literally get into your heart and operate on it. Yeah.
Oh my God, it took a dark turn
there. That's a bit reanimated.
Yes, very much. That was awesome.
No, but I mean, the New Kids on the Block, I do think we're a very underrated band, just hugely popular. So,
I have no comment to that.
I don't really see Van den Cooper how an obsession with celebrities or an interest in them is in any way beta male, because, for instance, I go to the Daily Mail website, right? All right, enough Twitter now. Come
Go
on.
on.
It's just diving down. You know, and I read like celebrity stuff on there. Not much of it, but I don't think it's a particularly beta thing. So,
anyway, Phantom Cooper,
as an Apex
you criticize
male,
people for using the term beta male and things like that. So,
you hypocrite.
Hypocrite.
I think it's hard to avoid all of the celebrity type of stuff these days. You know.
Yeah, it's just everywhere.
It's so
I mean, I try to avoid it as much as I can, but yeah, I can't stand it. Although, you know what? Some guy, what were they commenting on? What? Oh, yeah, they're commenting on Taylor Swift. Like, I don't know. You know Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
They're making a big deal that she's dating a football player out here, and she goes to the
I'm
game.
going to see a concert film.
There's a lot of people are, man. A lot of motherfuckers.
She just took in $4.6 billion.
Yeah, that movie's
billion with a B.
The movie's going to make a shitload.
What do you mean from the tour?
For the tour, yeah.
Yeah.
The film will do really well, I'm sure.
The film will be $2 billion.
I think the film's really $2 billion.
Wow.
Yeah, it'll hit $2 billion. I really believe that.
Not even one, two.
Oh, it's going to break $1 billion easily. It's easily going to break $1 billion.
Do you guys find it funny how she's scared? She terrifies the right wing, like those because I don't know what you are, Voltaire, but like, if you see her on Fox when they talk about her on Fox or Newsmax, they're like terrified of her. She's like the Antichrist to them.
She's very influential. I don't know why politically what her leanings are. I just know how influential she is. The movie will break $1 billion easy. I mean, I guess maybe 2 billion is hyperbolic. Certainly 1.5 billion. I really believe that. It's just she's got too much hype.
But would you, if I said like, and you lived just down the road from me, Voltaire, which could happen.
Could happen.
Would you go and see the new Taylor Swift film with me and Johnny? Actually, I don't want to.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
No,
you two are like sit. Would you, Johnny?
I'll come with you. Yeah,
just me and you. We could hold hands on the front row.
We could. Yeah.
No, I think we'd be arrested.
If you touch my hand, though, I'll get really angry.
So. Taylor Swift.
I would say touch it. Then when you did touch it, like, don't touch it. What?
So what people have to understand that 83% of purchases come from women. Okay, one of the reasons Barbie did so well is because women came out to see that movie. Amongst
really, Voltaire? That is an amazing insight.
That is very much
so women love Taylor Swift, and their daughters love Taylor Swift. And you know what their daughters are going to do? They're going to see it 2-3 times. They're going to go see the movie.
Yeah, but there's enough.
I saw Batman
the
first
Swift as well, and remember,
yeah, I think those Swifties or something.
Yeah, look at I saw the Batman film, the Michael Keaton Batman film. I saw in the theaters 4 times. I couldn't stop, and I wanted to go more. Really? You know what I mean? Yeah, I loved the movie so much as a kid.
Jesus Christ, you really do love films.
Yeah. No, that's a controversial statement, but yes, I do.
But going to see that 4 times. I mean, the film was hyped to the max, and I remember.
So that's a good one to see 4 times. I like that.
Well, you know what? There hadn't been good comic book movies, and I was a kid who read comic books.
They made a comic book of the film that came out before the film, and I got that. I remember. I don't think I ever read it all, but you know,
the killer. Oh, what's it called? Oh, yeah, the Joker one. Yeah, I got that too.
No, I'm talking about the Michael Keaton one though.
Oh, okay.
They made a comic for that. It's really well illustrated.
I believe it. You know, the movie was huge.
I wasn't really as into the film as everyone, but I definitely bought into the hype. I remember. I think I went and saw it.
What was the last superhero movie before that? One of the Superman movies?
It must have been
Superman: The Quest for Peace.
Yeah. Right.
Think about that. What a
people were just like.
Shift.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It was brilliant. I thought it was brilliant. So there's going to be young women are going to go see that movie multiple times or whatever. Anyway, so
Gary North says he won't see it.
Can I just say something on a side note that I just found out? Batman: The Killing Joke, the animated from 2016. Ray Wise is in it. He plays James Gordon.
Oh, it's terrible. They added to the story from the
that is, you're right, from the comic, the original
graphic novel, and
the graphic novel is amazing, and you're right, the adaptation was bad.
I don't know why they added that extra stuff. I don't know why they didn't do shot by shot.
You're talking about the beginning part, right? The whole love scene with
correct. It's dumb.
Yeah.
I agree. Like when they did the Dark Knight or whatever, they did shot by shot remake. Yes, and it's brilliant.
Yes.
So I don't know why they don't do it.
They're saying that.
But anyway, so some guy was commenting, some English twat was commenting on a message board saying, "Oh, you Americans and your obsession with celebrity." I go, "Are what? Americans are obsessed with celebrity?
Oh, no, you did.
You fucking with your fucking tabloids and the royal family and David Beckham and all this shit, and you're saying Americans are something?"
Deborah Collins.
What? I mean, come on. And
James literally has the biography right now in his hand.
His response was, "Oh, we're not that into the royal family anymore around here." Like, shut the it's like, get out of here.
Well, let's ask James. Has the waning of the royal family dissipated since the Queen's passing? Or are they just as involved? As far as tabloids and there's still just
I don't really think it's changed at all apart from
okay.
I know that the anti-monarchy crowd is probably more active now than it has ever been.
Wow, okay.
What's that video I saw that King Charles?
Well, bear in mind, Prince Charles was close friends.
He's a king now.
With all right, King Charles was close friends with Savile.
All right, well, so a lot of people were. What do you want? Anyway, so he tricked a lot of people.
Don't forget it.
Yes,
right.
Yes.
So what about this video of King Charles where these people are on a mountain bike and he's just walking along, goes, "Hello there," and they just have a chat with him and he's like alone out there. What is that bullshit? What is that, James? Like he's just walking around alone and these jack-offs on their mountain bikes just start to, you know the video I'm talking about, right?
I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it, and I just thought,
like, what bollocks is that?
Are you saying that it's set up?
Well, there's no security around him.
There must be an aspect of people know that people don't really care for the new king, whereas they held the queen in kind of affection. But would somebody drum up that kind of fake story? Does he wander around alone like that? I don't know.
How does anybody get within 30 feet of him without security knowing about it? But they make it like these mountain bikes are just la-di-da. Oh, look who it is. It's the Bloody King. Oh, Your Majesty, what are you doing out here? He goes, oh, I'm just going for a walk, you know, that kind of thing. And he's like, oh, yes, we've changed the brambles over here. Oh, we like it quite a bit. There's no security. It's bullshit. And I guess it's to make him more
if you went back 30 years, they wouldn't have any security for, say, like close-up security necessarily for like when they go and talk to the crowds, and they still don't. Like, I mean, well, I don't know. Are you saying that the whole thing is set up, or is it just that the people were out there, they were seeing, like, they saw the king there, they somehow even approached his security and said, can we do a video? And they're like, okay, well, you can do it then because it'll look good, I suppose.
So here's how, if it's of any kind
Probably
of
like that, yeah.
If there's any sincerity to it, yes. So he's at one of his estates. He's like, oh, I'd like to take a walk. And like, sure thing, Your Majesty. They're all over him. They give him some space, but they're watching him. And maybe these people happen to be mountain biking along the way, and the security stopped them and say, oi, what's all this then? And then they frisk them, check them out, and then they go, all right, the king's back there. You can have a little chat with him, but don't make a big. But it's filmed up the ass. So it just.
Why do the security people always have to speak like kind of? Oh, what's all this then?
No. I guess it would be more. They would be more like
living in Victorian England. Or something.
No, I guess they'd be more professional.
What's all this then?
I just wouldn't think that they would be as
They're in a constant
state of surprise. Probably well spoken.
Yeah, they would.
Oh, hello.
I don't think they'd be quite like that.
Like would you?
Hello, I'd have to give you
no touching of the king, especially near his genitals, please.
And don't look the king in the eye. He hates that fucking shit.
No. When you talk to him, look him directly in the eye and hold the gaze for at least 30 seconds whilst clutching his cock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I touched the king's penis. At that point, I knew he was a man of the people.
Is that how he knights people?
Yeah.
Probably
did when Sabo was around.
That would be a boss way to do it.
Yeah, you have been knighted.
All right, put my screen back up. I found the video.
I'm just taking it down.
No, I didn't want just like loads and loads of Twitter on.
No, I mean, like Twitter's so bad. I mean, it's known as X.
Gary knows the truth. He says the king uses Derby security, and we know they don't fuck around. They didn't. They followed me about 5 miles just to ask me what the hell I was doing.
Wow.
And then said, "Oh, he's all right."
Okay, so here, see how they present it? A
And then
group
wrote
of
your
mountain
name
bikers
on the
bumped
list.
into King Charles. They
Got a
did.
photo of me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's lovely.
it's quite bumpy though.
Your old hands, I think.
We do our best. Andrew's a minor celebrity in the mountain bike world.
Really?
Yeah.
Not compared to you, so.
Who would just say that? Oh,
Sorry.
yes, he's a minor celebrity.
Like you're talking to the king. Like how? What?
But look
The
at
king's probably thinking, "Oh, for fuck's sake, I don't want to give a shit about you."
Exactly.
I'm the king, you twat.
I know.
like
10
where's
seconds
the
later,
there's nobody behind the king, right? There's nobody over here that we can see or over here.
This shot is
Bullshit.
crap. Like, let's film it with my hands right in front.
Yeah, I think it's on a GoPro on his helmet or something.
Sure, summer
but it's
vacation
like his
to
face. He's
Balmoral,
like
is
to
it?
create this proper, like,
The weather was better.
I know, it's
Yeah.
typical.
Yeah.
The midges are horrendous.
The worst I felt this year was this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where exactly is this, though?
It's,
James
said
will
at
take
the
that.
beginning. Hang on.
No, I'm talking about, like,
Have you done it before?
well,
Yeah.
how long does this video go
Yeah.
on for?
I don't know.
Oh,
I
no,
put it back. They're in Balmoral, Scotland.
Balmoral.
Whatever. So whatever. They chat with him for a while. No sign of security, and then they're just off. Okay. Oh, that was a nice little. If you want to believe that.
Oh, but when it starts, they're already talking to him, aren't they? That doesn't seem natural.
Thank you.
Like, I mean, yeah, okay, the video's been edited by the paper or whatever, But like, you'd not. Wouldn't it be more effective to show them just greeting him randomly out of nowhere? That would be like, whoa, and convince you this is real, even if it was staged.
This was set up, I guess, from a PR standpoint. It's a quaint video of the king mixing with his subjects, and having a little chat with them. You know what I mean?
From the angle, you can't even tell who it is, even. So,
yeah, well, I mean, you should. You really ought to.
No, but in the light, you can't see his face even properly.
No, not really. They don't. He doesn't ever get a good shot of him. But probably they're not allowed to be. They told him, don't get too fucking close to the king, okay?
Who told him though? Well, other security.
Security.
Security detail behind this guy on the.
Do you think? Okay.
They've got their hand up his ass.
Do you think that the security, like the king, walks anywhere without an assload of security all over?
Oh my god, he's got snipers on.
He can't go out for a little stroll just by himself. Right? That doesn't happen. He's got these.
Yeah, he's on GPS radar. He's got like 007 protection.
Yeah, but the thing is, the king would know that this is a cyclist route. Why go walking down there, for instance?
And those cyclists would have been picked up.
And he's been confronted by silent scientists. Sorry, cyclists going, "Oh, fucking hell, it's a king."
My friend there is a celebrity.
Yeah, he's a YouTuber. One of the guys is a YouTuber.
Can you put me in your video?
Yeah.
Well, this is, in all honesty, James would bring up his YouTube channel, I think, to the king too. So have you heard of Coffee Time, my king?
Yeah, like what's that about? Is that like do you go to cafes and talk about what the cafe is like or something?
Talk about that place on.
No, I just stay inside and talk about Twin Peaks for 10 years non stop.
We should talk
Coffee
about
Time. It's
various
the biggest coffee shop on High Street.
Oh, James, why don't you do a 1 minute short where you literally just talk about various coffees? I think you would get a shitload of
I think that would be shit. He won't even do the thing where he gets all the different flavors of the Twin Peaks candy bars from the Dollar General over there.
Yeah, but the thing is, even if you did get some extra people signing up and stuff, you'd have to continue doing that kind of stuff. Otherwise, it's just like they're eventually going to unsubscribe or just not watch, are they? So
why don't you do shorts like of you walking out of the cinema, your instant reaction? I've just seen The Believer. Here's my thoughts, and just do a YouTube short. That'll get you.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. That's a great idea, Voltaire. Actually,
I've just been to see Taylor Swift's Eras.
Yes.
And
yes.
I don't own one Taylor Swift CD. I've only listened to Shake It Off. And maybe
I paused at various moments.
Anti-hero, and I knew that the film was like she's got some ass padding because beforehand she didn't have any ass. I give it 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. Well, yeah, her legs are not all hers though. To be fair,
what? They're not all hers. Her legs are not all hers.
No, they are.
Okay.
This is what I've heard anyway. I mean, they're definitely not like all created for her or something,
Okay.
Mandela Man didn't make them on a computer and say,
yeah.
All right, Taylor, brah. I got some legs here, like, brah. Oh, yeah. I know you're working for Disney now, Taylor.
God, that whole fucking $97,000 scholarship bullshit. God.
When I heard that the first time when he was told me and Voltaire, I'm just like, no way. Come on. It was too good to be true.
That Full Sail College, it is a real college, but it's like a technical college.
Pay to play.
They also, they're it's like culinary schools out here.
Yeah, exactly.
They charge like $30,000 tuition a year because they're people who want to be cooks and they get these culinary degrees. And they should have just gone to a restaurant and just started off from the bottom.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Work as a dishwasher at a big restaurant in Vegas and work their way up.
Yeah.
So but whatever.
Well, anyway, before we've just finished, is there anything else you wanted to recommend? Or we've managed to get to 3.5 hours, if you can believe it.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it's been a pleasure talking to you both anyway.
Thank you for indulging me in my Exorcist
it was great. It was
excellent.
Well, I can't believe that you really dove.
That was really cool.
Dove right back into it.
I like doing that kind of thing now and again. I knew I was I was interested in the film. I knew I loved the first one, and I didn't have clear memories of all of the other ones. So I said, let me just go back and rewatch them all. So
I agree with that. It was really good. I really enjoyed your reviews of it.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting to go walk back. Dare you walk these steps again, or whatever it says on the Exorcist 3 poster.
Yeah.
Even though they only had basically one shot where they recreated Karras flying down the steps, but it's like rolling almost. To film that, they put padding on each of the steps. You know, they used a stuntman, of course, but.
Can you think of another movie franchise where the subsequent sequels have been so far off in quality to the first one? I really can't.
No, not at all.
I think about it.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're going to make like a series of films related to each other, you should look at the Police Academy films as a good guide.
Or the Naked Gun movie.
Excellent. Yeah, well, yeah, Naked Gun is pretty consistent, I think.
I mean, arguably, Citizens on Patrol, Police Academy, I think that's 4 is one of the best.
Well, I would just disagree on that.
Of course you would.
I would say that Mission to Moscow is easily
the best one.
That really, I think that was actually on a boat when I went on a boat once, very long time ago. And,
a narrow
I felt sick anyway, and then we went into the cinema, which was creaking, and that was on, and it was like, Jesus Christ!
Was a cinema on a boat? Is that why the cinema was creaking?
I was going to ask.
Yeah, but it was like the end of the 80s or whenever it was, and it was
that's pretty.
The whole of the cinema was like made out of that kind of pine wood interior, but that seemed to even add to the creaking sound of it and everything. It's just like
that must have been maddening for you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was a youngster, but I was still absolutely fuming. Yeah,
I can imagine.
I stormed out and I said, I can't watch Mission to Moscow.
How am I supposed to enjoy this serious piece of work during the Cold War?
I think that's by the point he got to about the 6th one, was it? I don't even know if Steve Guttenberg was still in that one, but it was probably not. And,
that big hates it.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knew it was just not good.
No, come on. Even like the different movies are different. Like even they had their own they had their own theme song, you know. And every time they fell into the gay bar, they would go that the Blue Oyster. Every time they
but I don't think. I mean, for instance, in Mission to Moscow, I don't think they had like a Moscow gay bar.
I bet you they did. That was a running gag in every movie. I don't remember, but I bet you they did.
If they kept that going, I give them credit for that. A running joke is always good.
You can't just go to different locations and have another Blue Oyster appearance.
They're running after a criminal and they accidentally get bumped into this bunch of guys in leather, and they, I think Bobcat Goldthwait's character gets bumped into it at one point. So
and then has to try and like talk down the bullies with his amazing voice, which is hilarious.
It was at the time, yeah.
Well, no, it still is.
He hates it. He hates it. He's become a legitimate director.
He looks back on that and he says, I didn't do that. That wasn't me.
It wasn't me. It was Smithy.
Just turns his head to
Alan Smithy.
It's not me. Hello. You want to talk to me? Don't talk about the Police Academy film. Thank you.
If anybody remembers if there's a gay Blue Oyster in Moscow, I would be interested. I think I'm going to have to go check now. I'll be shocked if they didn't use that running gag in the movie. I'd be shocked.
Well, have you ever seen the video of where Steve Guttenberg is jogging in America?
No.
This is what he really does now. This is real.
This is real. Okay.
I'll just show this as the ending thing. Hopefully, this is not copyright or something. I don't think it will be. God. This is a real video, which was somebody showed me of Guttenberg. So here we go.
Steve Guttenberg every morning runs the park pantsless. Nothing.
Okay, come on.
So,
no, it's real.
Dude, here it comes. Here it comes.
This is Voltaire's daily ritual.
He's pretty fit.
Oh my God. Come on now.
Unbelievable.
I don't see what's wrong with that. It's completely normal.
Yeah, just. Was that Gutenberg? Oh, come on.
I don't see anything
Come
wrong with
on.
it.
That's horrible.
What the fuck?
He made this video for a joke.
No, this is normal. This is good
This
behavior.
is normal.
Let's go talk to him.
Hey,
Hey,
Steve. Nice to
Hi,
meet
how you doing? What's
Oh
going
my
on?
God.
I'm just out for a day, and
You doing the marathon this year?
no, I just run. I run every day. It's just my thing.
Where are your
There's no way he
pants
has his pecker out this whole time.
at? Yeah.
I gotta get going. I actually have a meeting.
What are you doing?
I'm doing a new thriller, so I'll see you guys.
Okay. Hey, take care of yourself.
All right. Be well.
We'll see you.
Be well and stay happy.
Okay. Thanks, Steve.
Oh, come on. What the fuck?
It's in slow motion.
Oh, come on.
It's really beautiful, that is.
No, it's not actually.
He ran through a youngster's birthday party.
I'm surprised you haven't parodied this
I'm
video
Angelo, and
and
this
done it
is
yourself.
underrated.
Why are you watching a channel? Why was that
No,
your
start
next
getting
video?
all,
Who's a
coy
gay
now
man
about
doing
it.
videos of the biggest heartthrobs from the 80s? What is it here? Who's that channel? Steve Gillenberg, the best heartthrob from the 80s, underrated.
He wasn't saying anything like that. What are you talking about?
Yes, he was. That video was about that.
It wasn't gay. That whole scene was very. I would, if anything, I would describe it as straight as you can get.
Okay, then we have some two different opinions.
I mean, you know,
we see the world differently.
All right, let's get going though. I gotta run, boys. Sorry, I don't want to be rude, but
that's all right. That's all right. I mean, just don't put some pants on, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, James,
Thank you for being on the stream with me both today. It's 11 here at night, so I'm a bit tired.
It's about 6.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, boys. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye for now, and
Bye
thank
for
you
now.
again.
Ciao, everyone. Thanks, James, again.